Okay, we are recording. Cool. Hello YouTube, my name is Zach, aka The Weather Gamer. If you're watching this, this is the draft stream for Phoenix Cup Federation that went on yesterday. You can go check that out, or you can watch it here, I guess. So, yeah, with that, we're gonna get, yeah, board, hey board, yeah, you're getting a professional stream. So yes, here we go. So this is Phoenix Cup Federation. It is a, I don't know what the proper term is for it. I think it's WBE style draft where it's points tiered. It's a tiered points-based draft. That's all I know. I don't know what the correct term is. So, but anyways, draft stream, it's hosted by Shadow, who is currently not awake. So yes, not awake. Hopefully he pops in here real quick. But anyways, as you guys know, I know nothing about competitive mons. I'm going to try my best to do a draft stream and just talk about these mons and talk about at least what I know. I've got a few of the coaches over here. In the chat. Hopefully they can chime in, and as more coaches wake up, they can chime in and they can tell me why they made their picks, because some of these picks I just don't understand, that sort of thing. So anyways, draft order is how you see it on the screen. So we have, to start off, we have the Green Lake Glide Scores coached by Shadow. Yes, the league commissioner somehow pulled the #1 pick. He's also the Season 1 champion. I'm starting to smell a little rigging, maybe. I'm not sure. I'm just joking, Shadow. I don't believe he rigged it. It's RNG. Like, WWC, the league that I run, that I did a draft stream for way back when I RNG'd the first draft order, I ended up first. I was like, nah, this isn't right. So I just re-randomized it again. Then we have the Red Star Rush Rams, coached by Tez, who I know is over in the chat right now. We have the Clyde Cloisters, coached by Dank. The Boston Celestelas, coached by... Alright, board. The Boston Celestelas, coached by Jacob Bro 63. The Boise Blazekins by Lord of the Acorn. Seattle Primarinas, coached by Spies. Washington Brivaries, coached by Rye. Yes, this is the same Washington Brivaries and Rye from FWL. I get to meet up and battle with him again. The White Forest Weedles, coached by Clem. The Austin Absols, coached by Austin. The West Virginia Wingles, coached by Fancify. The Notre Dame Naganadels, coached by Connor. The OKC Thunder, coached by Inke. The Egyptian Lucario's, coached by Mart. Myself and the Chicago Bearticks. Yes, I wanted to run the Chicago Charizards. As you see, there's the charge still in the Charizard, so I couldn't run them. A little salty about that. They are coached by Conscious, I believe is how that goes. I don't know. And I'm not even going to try and pronounce the Go-Goats first part of their name. But they are coached by Zaverd. And I'm going to go ahead and get my camera on here. And yes, I'm going to cover up some of the logos. Hey guys, there I am. I'm alive. Yeah, so to kick things off, the Glide Scores went ahead and drafted Celesteela. Celesteela is a #1 overall pick. Threw me off. I don't agree with this. I know Celesteela is a very good mon. It can run offensive, defensive. Like, I have been swept by a Celesteela. I've been 6-0'd by a Celesteela. Because it was the automized set, and I didn't prep for that. And it just kind of came in here and went automized, beast boosting, beast boosting, beast boosting, Z crystal, beast boosting. I was like, uh-oh, this is done. I don't think this is worthy of a #1 pick, especially with some of the other mons that are out there. This draft has Hoopa U, the Mega Latios and Latios. Mega Mawile was in this draft. Yay, I'm doing the same thing I do in YouTube. I'm going to open a new tab so I can go look at the tier list, because I honestly don't remember the tier list. But there are some other things I would have... Aegislash, granted it doesn't have King Shield, so maybe not. But Mega Latios, Mega Kanga without Seismic Toss, okay, not great. The Mega Latis for sure. Mega Mawile. All of those, not Zero Aura, but Tapacoca, that was what I was trying to think of, the electric type. All of those to me seem like more of a better first overall pick, but apparently This is like Shadow's favorite Mon or something. This is the Mon he won the league with last year, so he just wanted to get that again and not have to wait until pick 20 and 21 because Celesteela wouldn't have lasted that long. So I guess situational drafting had to take it, but I don't agree. We'll see what it does. Second pick. Maybe if this thing will run. There we go. No, come on. There we go. Red Star Reshiram's and Tez taking Tapu Koko. Now there's what I think would be a good first pick. Tapu Koko is amazingly fast. It does have the ability to run physical or special. I have been beat by a physical Tapu Koko, and it sucks because when your team has nothing for a physical Koko and they bring physical Koko, you're dead. Tapu Koko is just super fast. Hey Matthias, welcome. Been a while, dude. This thing is fast, hits like a truck, and just if paired correct with the right amount of Mons, it just blows you back. It can run Scarf, Specs. I have seen banded Tapu Koko before. Very strange, but I have seen banded Koko. Sets up the electric terrain. Can't have Mons put to sleep in the electric terrain, so you can avoid the sleep powders, the spores, all that. Just good Mon in my mind. Definitely worth being up there. This thing can run through Celesteela. If it goes Specs, it would take a lot for Celesteela to survive a hit from this. Tez is going to try and run Banded Koko. Please don't bring that versus me. Umbreon, or Max, not Umbreon. I don't know why I always address you as Umbreon. Max, thank you for hosting me. Always appreciate it, dude. Third overall pick, the Clyde Cloisters. I'm looking at my cheat sheet because I don't remember everyone and everything for the draft because, again, the draft happened while I was in school and at work, so I don't talk to half the people. Sorry, guys. I don't know people. Oh, cool, because we don't play, so I don't have to worry about that until playoffs if I somehow make playoffs. No spoilers because my videos for matches have not gone up. Those go up starting this coming week. So please, PCF people, don't spoil what happens in my matches no matter what happens. Anyways, we have Clyde Cloisters here, coached by Dank, taking Thunderous Incarnate? Is this Thundy-Eye? Yeah, this is Thundy-Eye. I always get the Incarnates. Yeah, I always get the Incarnates and the Therians mixed up. This is Thundy-Eye. This one has Prankster, I believe. Right? Yeah, I'm pretty sure this has Prankster. I don't know. I just know this thing's faster than the Therian form. I really should just pull up my cheat sheet. Again, I close tabs when I don't need to close them. Yes, I am not by any means a professional streamer, so yeah, it does get Prankster. Yeah, so this thing's faster, has really good special attack, really good physical attack. Special attack topping out at 125, physical about 115, 111 speed. Prankster is just an annoying ability. I hate Prankster because no matter what you do, no matter how fast you make your Mon, Prankster still gets off its like Prankster Defog or Prankster Tailwind, which Prankster Tailwind is just annoying as all can be. Yeah, I don't like Prankster, except for the fact that Dark types can't get hit by it, but Prankster is just annoying. This thing is just a monster of a wall breaker. It has its other ability is Defiant, so if you try to intimidate it, its attack is jump. If it gets caught, it can't get caught in sticky webs, but if you try to break its stat boost down, it gets a boost. It's another boost itself. Nasty Plot Life Orb set, just really not okay. This thing will punch through. Hey, Penguin! Welcome. Thanks, Penguin. Been a while, dude. Yeah, anyways, this thing is just going to be an annoyance if with Prankster. I'm already going to see if I have to face anything with Prankster, it's going to drive me up a wall. Boston Celesteelas, so we're going Genies back-to-back. Well, Genies and Beasts, I guess, are how they rotate, but Landorus T. Lando T is a fearsome mon. It does not have... I think it's Sheer Force is the ability I'm thinking. Maybe I'm wrong here. Where's my PCF stuff? Or am I thinking of the wrong Lando form again? Again, I get these things so mixed up all the time. Lando, where are you? Lando Calrissian, would you please stand up? The real Lando Calrissian, please stand up. Okay, so Sand Force only on the Incarnate one. Okay, never mind. This thing's Intimidate and something else. I don't remember what. Great Intimidate user. Great U-turner. Good Scarfer. Dies the HP Ice. Unless it's carrying a Yachi. But overall, this thing is going to be an offensive nightmare. That Intimidate is really good. The only thing is, if for some reason the Celesteelas and the Boisters wanted to, or end up battling, don't bring Intimidate, because if he brings Defiant, you're just going to feel him. But yeah, Lando is a mon that I wanted to try out. Lando's a mon that I've been wrecked by. If you remember from WWC, Spare Ample had this thing on his roster and he hardly ever used it. That just tells you how broken that draft was. But yeah, Lando to me is a good mon. It's above the ground. I've seen Scarf Stealth Rockers just to get early rocks, but definitely dies to HP Ice. Good move pool too. Moving on, we have Zygarde 50% to the Boise Blazekins and Lord of Acorn. Zygarde 50 is another one of those mons that's really good. Another dies to HP Ice type of mon. Banded Zygarde, Scarf Zygarde, D-Dancing Setup Zygarde. It's a powerful wall breaker with the ability to sweep, and it has one of the most busted moves in the game in 1,000 Arrows. That I don't think 1,000 Arrows should be, like, that was the worst creative move in my mind. 1,000 Arrows just comes in and knocks you down from the ground so it can hit flying types. It's beyond stupid in my mind. It's got the Aura Breaker ability, which I believe is like Mold Breaker. I'm not sure. Again, I don't know competitive mons. I know Power Construct's not allowed. It does have base 121 defense, so it's got decent defense, but it's and base 95 speed is pretty good. Okay, Aura Breaker flips Dark Aura and Fairy Aura, so it really is a useless ability. Okay, yeah. So Aura Breaker is really just a useless ability in competitive draft leagues. Zygarde needs a different ability. Game Freak, give out something for competitive that doesn't involve these busted-ass Ubers, like Xerneas and Yveltal. But yeah, this thing is just going to put in work. It has priority and extreme speed. Banded extreme speeds hurt everything but a ghost type. It's going to be a very, very good offensive wall breaker for the Blazekins. Seattle Primarina's Spies taking Mega Lopunny and your basic white girl. Sorry, had to say it. This thing has legging. What do you expect? Mega Lopunny is super, super fast. I think it tops out at 405 if you run a positive speed nature. Scrappy ability so it can hit. Hey, Acorn, you actually dismissed me talking about Zygarde. This thing can hit like a truck. Super, super fast. Gets all the elemental punches, power up punch, last resort sets. Scrappy so it can hit ghost types with its normal and fighting stab. High jump kick to blow things back. If this thing had close combat instead of high jump kick, or had access to close combat on top of high jump kick, it would be so much better as a Mon, because high jump kick is really your strongest fighting type stab for this thing, and all you have to do is have someone on protect them. You instantly crash and you're in trouble. I have used Mega Lopunny. Hey, Rye. I have used Mega Lopunny before in leagues. I'm actually using it in APA right now. It's pretty good. Again, I really wish it had close combat or something other than high jump kick and drain punches, its top 2 fighting stabs. All the elemental punches make this thing very threatening. It's fast, it hits hard, its move pool to me is not the greatest. It's not the greatest for having to be set up. Power Up Punch is your best way to set up with this thing. We'll see. It definitely gets the high-end speed, though. Not much outspeeds this thing naturally. Going into the next pick, we have Rye and the Washington Briberries picking Kyurem Black. Kyurem Black is a monster with Tetravolt, which is basically Mold Barrier 2.0. So your Sturdies die, it overrides the other ones. Dragon Ice type. This is where triple typing might have been something that Nintendo could have done. I can see how that can get really, really complicated, really, really fast. This thing is just a monster. Base 95 speed is decent. Base 170 attack. You throw a choice band on this thing, it's going to hit like a truck. It's a good Z crystal user. It's very bulky with 125 base HP, 100 base defense, 90 base to death. This thing could run Special Set if you wanted, because it does have 120 base special attack. Like an Ice Z set. The Sub-Roost Toxic set can be just really, really annoying. Throw a Life Orb on it, throw a Choice Band on it. It does get Earth Power, which is great with the Mold Breaker. It can beat Levitate users. You can set up with it. It's really, really a very good mon. Steel types, fairy types, and entry hazards are kind of the thing that really murders this thing the most. But it's still one of probably the most powerful wall breakers out there. Yeah, the lack of a huge thanks Lord for reminding me of that. The fact that there is no physical ice type move on this thing really breaks it. If this thing had a physical ice type move, it would be banned just like Kyurem White is, because Kyurem White is a special attacker, and there are so many special moves that make that thing almost impossible to beat. So if this thing got, like, say this thing got Ice Hammer, which I believe is Abomasnow's signature move, if it got a move like Ice Hammer, this thing would be almost broken. Again, so far this draft, except for Celesteela, which can be run or offensive, but is mainly more of a defense. You see a lot of offense flying off the board here. Begin round 1. We have the White Forest Weedles and Clem taking Mega Latios. So again, I know that Mega Latios is more of a defensive mon. It's got Axis Defog. Between the two and this is why Latios and Mega Latios tend to go before Mega Latios and Latios. Honestly, I thought this thing would go a lot sooner than the 8th pick in the draft. I made it halfway through round 1. Ice Punch, that's true, board. Ice Punch would be a good thing for Kyurem Black. It has big, meaty claw fists. It should be able to punch. Latios in general is more on the defensive side. Latios is more on the physical side, or offensive side. See Mega Latios go here. The Roost, defogging abilities, setting up substitutes, hitting like a truck with Draco Meteors, or if you want to run D-Dance sets, it can. I know this thing has been a pain in the butt for me in league format. Trying to deal with it. I've had several run-ins with it, and it's a good mon. It's going to serve both as an offensive and a defensive core, and it's a very good Mega to start your Dragon Fairy Steel core with. And because it's Mega, knockoff isn't going to be super as nasty because you can't knock off a Mega Stone, so there's no item to knock off. Plus, this has Levitate still, doesn't it? So, yeah, so they keep their Levitate ability. So it gives you an Earthquake immunity. Helps you keep those ground types in check for later on, depending on what the wheels draft here. Austin Absol's Infernape. This is another one of those mons that I really want to try. The only problem is it being tier 1. It's just so expensive, so much of a commitment. But Infernape is a monster. You can give it Choice Band. It has priority in both Bullet Punch and Vacuum Wave. Iron Fist is its hidden ability, so it's punch-based moves. Get powered up, base 108 speed, so it's decently fast on the faster side. 104 special attack, 104 attack, which is really good. It makes it utility. Gives it good utility in the fact that it can run both physical and special, just about as even, with both their bases being even. So really, you have to prep for, is this going to be physical or a special or a mixed Infernape? There's all those issues. You could run a Nasty Plot setup sweep type of Infernape Life Orb. There's also the Choice Scarf Infernape because of its speed. There's Choice Bandage Infernape. Choice Scarf. It does have coverage with Gunk Shot to hit hard with that. Stone Edge, Close Combat. This thing is a pivot mon with U-turn. Yeah, it gets rocks. Same as Acorn. You can set up with a Swords Dance set, Mock Punch, the Elemental Punches. Unfortunately, Latios is going to wall this thing pretty hard. If you run a Banded set, you get your band knocked off. Acrobatics could be a play. The Bulk Up set. Calm Mind on the other side for special. EQ gets Dual Chop as a Dragon type move. If you wanted to surprise something there. It does have Iron Tail because it has a tail. You could run Steelium Z Iron Tail to catch someone off guard like that. Rock Slide, if you don't want to run the risk of missing Stone Edge, you could run a Rock Slide, even though you can still miss that. So Stealth Rocks, Taunt User, U-turn, all the good stuff. It's a really solid mon all around, really good mon all around. Definitely something I want to try out someday. And the Absols have their offensive wall breaker to start the draft. Again, it seems like everybody. Yeah, it gets bored. It gets the Nasty Plot. It gets Nasty Plot set. Hey, Wolf. Yeah, so again, first round of the draft outside of Latios and Celesteela has been offensive powerhouses. Mew, Torn, if you're lurking and listening, hey, Mew got taken round 1 this time. The running joke for Mew for some of my friends, which the running joke with Mew is, in WWC draft stream, Mew made it all the way to round 12. Not round 12, round 10. It made it all the way to round 10 before it got drafted. And so there were 2 coaches that could draft Mew, and they were like back-to-back picks. And the one coach took Mew right before the other one, just as we were discussing it. It was one of the biggest snipes I'd ever. This was one of the biggest draft snipes I'd ever seen. It was funny, and sorry, Torn, I'm still laughing about it. But Mew, round 1. Mew is super utility mon. Having access to every single move in the game. Synchronize allows it to absorb a Toxic or a T-Wave and fire it back. Base 100s across the board, which is typical of most Mythics. You can run a Lefty set. It can have like super annoying set with Will-O-Wisp, Soft Boiled, Stealth Rocks. It can be a Defogger. Roost. You can run an offensive with like Nasty Plot Rocks, Polish, Psychic and Fire Blast. It's obviously one of the best Z users out there because it can use almost every single Z move. It is a baton passer, so if you set up like a Rock Polish and you want to baton pass into something to get it some speed, you can, or you can baton pass your Nasty Plot. I believe this league is another league where you are not allowed to baton pass both speed and another. I think you can pass other setup or speed, but not both. But anyways, baton passing some setup could be an interesting set. But yeah, this thing literally has access to almost every move in the game, making it incredibly hard to build around, incredibly versatile, and it really is something that on any given week you're gonna have to think, what is this thing? You almost can't plan for Mew. You just have to go in and say, okay, I don't know what this Mew is gonna be. Our best bet is to just try and hit it somehow. It's so versatile. Notre Dame Naganadels taking Volcarona, and Volcarona being tier 1 also with this to me, Volcarona in tier 1 just absolutely rolls it out for me. Volcarona is not worth a tier 1 pick in my mind, it's more of a tier 2 mon. Volcarona is a very dangerous setup sweeper with Quiver Dance, Focus Sash, Quiver Dance, except rocks, really, rock type in general just neuters Volcarona. Flame Body is good because it can burn contact. That base 135 special attack is just a killer. Base 100 speed, so it's on the same speed level as Mew. But a Bugsy like Quiver Dance, Fire Blast, Bug Buzz, and HP Ground Set is good. Stealth Rocks, though, really just murder this thing. Priority can kill this thing. Lycan Rocks will kill this thing with their priority. Extremely bulky defensive mons are going to wall this thing, like Chansey could just wall this thing. It does have good coverage, like it gets some decent coverage across the board, but it is a very, 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 very rock weak mon. And so I just don't think it's a good tier 1 pick. I don't think it's a good first round pick. I know it does get Roost, like Lord was saying, or saying in the chat, but I just don't see it being, I don't see it as a good round 1 pick. I don't see it as a good tier 1 pick. I think it belongs in tier 2 and maybe like round 2, round 3 type of pick. More than likely I'm going to get 6-0'd by it at some point this season, so just somebody remember to remind me of that when that happens. OKC Thunderous Clefable. I hate Clefable. I hate Clefable. This is one of the most annoying stall mons possible. It's super, super bulky, super, super stupid. I've had so much trouble taking down Claydol in the past. Or not Claydol. Why am I saying Claydol? Clefable. See, that's how much I hate this thing. Magic Guard, so it's not affected by like rocks or statuses, which means you can't Toxic it. It ignores Belly Drum. Curse doesn't affect it. Like Struggle, Recoil. It's a stupid ability, and then Unaware, ignoring the other's attack, special attack, accuracy changes when taking damage. And then it ignores your defensive changes when dealing damage. So this thing literally just is a stupidly nightmarish thing that sits in front of you. It's not the bulkiest thing in the world, but you start getting cosmic powers and stored powers like Acorn, you're literally saying the things as I'm getting ready to say them. It has soft boil, it can wish pass, stealth rock, cosmic power, stored power. This thing is just annoying, and it doesn't die. And as soon as it starts to set up, it's over. Like, as soon as it starts to set up, either you're fine, Acorn. You're fine. It's all good, dude. As soon as this thing starts to set up and get its defenses up, it's game over. Clefable is just gonna run through you. And I hate it. I hate the stupidly bulky mon. Like, Steel and Poison are the only thing. Maybe Celesteela can handle this. But it's just a nightmare. Well, Thunderous, thank you for drafting the biggest pain in my ass of a mon. Egyptian Lucario is taking Mega Gallade. Mega Gallade is a powerhouse. It is slow, relatively slow for a Mega. I think it's base 90, base 95, something like that. Which is what really, if it had better speed, Gallade, that's what I'm looking for. Gallade. If it had base 110, so I'm thinking a regular Gallade, base 110. Okay, so that's decently fast, but if this thing had the speed that, say, Mega Arrow, say, what am I trying to think here? Not Mega Arrow. Some of these other Megas that get, Thunder, yeah. I thought I was thinking of regular Gallade, which is base 80, not base 90, but base 110. It's decently fast, but I'm just thinking, like, I think 110, isn't 110... I gotta check something here, because this and another mon I have tried. Okay, yeah, okay. Never mind, I know what I was thinking of. Never mind, I'm an idiot. Just let me be an idiot here. Needs the 115 speed. Okay, yeah, there we go. I'm an idiot. I was thinking of Mega Garchomp, which is base 92, not Mega Gallade, because in the past I have drafted Speed Pass into Mega Gallade and Mega Garchomp. Speed passing into those would be super fun. So yeah, that's where, like, you get a speed pass, baton pass speed into Mega Gallade. That thing's gonna run through you. Set up with Swords Dance, priority in Shadow Sneak. What else? Inner Focus, so it can't be flinched. It does have the ability Justified. So if you bring this thing in on a knockoff user, it gets hit from Justified. Boost takes your attack stage up 1, and then you Mega Evolve, and you don't even need the Swords Dance. You can just Swords Dance to Swords Dance. Base 165 attack is just monstrously offensive. You boost that one stage, it's scary. It can be a great knockoff user. Plus 1 knockoff from this thing hurts. That Headbutt hurts. Close Combat hurts. Mega Sableye is about the best check for this thing. Mega Slowbro can take its stabs. And then burn with Scalds and that. Choice Scarfers are going to get this thing. It is... trying to remember, is this one is frail on the physical defense side, right? It's frail, I believe it's frail on the physical defense, or on the frailer side of the physical defense side, so it doesn't want to take physical hits very well. If I remember correctly, it's the death is base 110, but I don't remember its base defense. No base defense of Gardevoir or Gallade is like 65, 70, something like that. Anyways, this thing does not appreciate getting hit in the head with a physical type move. But if this thing gets set up, it can easily run through some teams. Hey, Dark. And yeah, it's going to make a good, very good wall breaker. Again, Now we have Clefable, Megalotti, and Celesteela on the defensive side. Hey, Shadow's here. Shadow, we're still in round 1, so don't worry, you didn't miss much. So this is going to be bulky. Now, coming into my draft pick and the next 2 picks, I took Zeraora. Hey, Clem. Hey, Johnny. I took Zeraora. If you remember back to WWC, I had Zeraora as my first pick. I love Zeraora. Zeraora has become one of my favorite mons. It's replaced Jolteon as my go-to electric type when I need offensive electric type. This thing is blazing fast at base 143 speed. It can run both physical and special. I believe there's only 10-point difference. I think attack is 112, special attack is 102, which can be, which definitely can be mitigated by Calm Minding or something like that. My biggest complaint with Zeraora is why does this thing not get Ice Punch? Why? Why do you not get Ice Punch, you stupid cat? Like, if this thing had Ice Punch, it would be beautiful. It would be worthy of Tier 1. I think it's a debatable Tier 1, possibly Tier 2 mon. I've seen it both ways. Tier 1 is where I ran it. GBA, thank you, Acorn. I could not think if it was GBA what I was trying to think. GBA that draft. Anyway, Zeraora, I love this thing. Super fast. Volt Absorb, so it heals off electric type moves. It pairs very nicely with water types that don't want to take those electric type hits. Plasma Fist is just a monster of a move. It has knockoff, elemental punches, close combat, acrobatics, aerial ace. It does get bounced. Why is this thing not a fighting type when it gets Brick Break, close combat, drain punch, focus blast, focus punch, bulk up, low kick, low sweep, quick guard? Like, serious, it has superpower. Why is this thing not a electric fighting type? Banded works. Because it's so fast, you throw a Scarf on this thing and almost nothing will outspeed this thing. I know Ninjask is faster, I know I believe Mega Arrow is faster by 2 points. I think Mega Arrow is 45. But it doesn't do the Scarf version of this. I said I didn't think Shadow recap. This is going up on YouTube, by the way, Shadow, if you can. Go watch it later. I should be dropping it up on YouTube at some point today. Or tomorrow, one of the two. I didn't agree with it being the first overall. Long story short. But anyways, this thing has such great coverage. It has Fake Out. Great. It has Volt Switch and Turn. It has both physical and special moves across the board. Iron Tail. This thing has Outrage. It is a great Z-Mon abuser because there are some Z moves that this thing gets that most people. Background music's too loud. Alright, Shadow. Alright, I will turn it down. Yeah. Oh god, that is pretty nasty. Let me adjust here. Try that, Shadow. Try that and tell me if that's alright for you. Anyways, oh, and I forgot, with its signature move, Plasma Fist, it turns any normal type move into electric type, so it's free Volt Absorb, basically. But yeah, I'm gonna stop playing with Zeraora here. I've talked up it enough. The Charge Stone Charizards, I am super salty at you, contest for this one. I am super salty. First you steal my logo, then you steal my baby. Not really. So, I wanted to run the Charizard X's, because I don't like running the Beartix multiple leagues in a row, because then on YouTube it gets the uploads a little messed up and that, because it's like, wait, was this Beartix team in this league, or this league, or this league? Let me run one or the other, just alternate type of thing. Couldn't run the Charizards, here's why, because their logo is the same mega as mine. So we didn't want to double up the Charizards and logos and get confused on teams. I honestly didn't think Mega Charizard was going to go round 1. I was going to try and pick it up. Hey, Savage. I was going to try and pick it up round 2. Or maybe if for some reason it went to round 3. I would have picked up this thing in a heartbeat. Mega Charizard is my favorite mon of all time. If they ever make real Pokemon, I want a Mega Charizard. Mega Charizard actually sits on my desk. I love this thing. God, I'm so mad that this thing went. I really want to try Mega Charizard someday. It's a monster. It's straight up a monster. Yes, it dies to rocks. Like Lycanroc just runs through this thing in a heartbeat. Fire Dragon typing though. With Tough Claws, it's base 130 attack, base 130 special attack, but because of the Tough Claws ability, you don't want to run special unless you absolutely need it. Base 100 speed, so that puts it on the same par as Mew. With Tough Claws, Flare Blitz, Tough Claws, Dragon Claw, Tough Claws, Earthquake, All Hurt. It does have Roost and Recovery. It can be a Dragon Dance setup sweeper, access to Outrage, which again, Tough Claws just runs through with this thing. It is such a nightmarish wall breaker because it takes its physical and multiplies it by 1.3, so basically it's a free life orb. It's a nightmare. The only problem is getting it in because Stealth Rocks are going to take 50%, and then if you have a Lycanroc with Excel Rock sitting in front of this thing, yeah, good night. I love Mega Charizard. I'm going to use it someday. This thing is going to put in so much work for the Charizards, and it's a great way to start your Dragon Fire Core right there. Coming in last pick of the first round, we have Victini. Victini is a mon that I've used. Victini is a very good mon. Matthias, if you're still hanging around, this is his ace mon. I have seen Victini put in work. I have stopped a Victini before, but I have seen a Victini put in work. I tried to make Victini work in a league. It's not my style, but this thing is nasty. It is a base 100s across the board again. Victory Star makes its accuracy 1.2, so you can run things like Bolt Strike and other moves with lower accuracy and have it not be as likely to miss. This thing is a great Scarfer, it's a great Choice Bander, it's a great Life Orb user. I've run E-Belt on it. The Fake being Choice Locked. Bulky Water types really slow it down though. It doesn't like rocks. Because it's a Psychic type, it doesn't like Pursuit Trapping. But its move pool is great. It can run physical, it can run special. You can run a Specs Victini. Oh, a Weakness Policy Trick Room Victini. Yes, I know. That's an A-Drive set. That's part of the reason I wanted to try. That's part of the reason I wanted to try this thing in a league myself, was because I've seen A-Drive use it so much. And yes, I don't care what chat's gonna say. I like A-Drive's battling style, and that's how I try to battle. Deal with it. Victini, great mon, super offensive, super good. Going to put in a lot of work. Very good Z move abuser too if you wanted to. I think it's great. So that's going to that'll be it for round 1 here. And yeah, I know that was a long round 1, but they will get faster as I start to get into mons, but I don't know what they do. So to recap round 1, we have the Gliscors taking Celesteela, we have the Reshiram taking Tapu Koko, the Cloisters taking Thundurus, Incarnate, the Celesteela is taking Landorus, the Blaziken's taking Zygarde, the Primarina's taking Mega Lopunny, the Braveries taking... what did the Braveries take here? Pure and Black. The Weedles taking Mega Latios. Man, I'm just having a brain fart here. Absol's taking Infernape. Wingle's taking Mew. Naganador's taking Volcarona. Thundurus is taking Clefable. Lucario's taking Gallade. Beartic's taking Zeraora. Charizard's taking Charizard X. And Victini to the Go-Goats. Probably best picks in my mind for that round as far from an offensive standpoint. Mega Gallade's going to be a nightmare. Kyurem Black's a nightmare. Zygarde's a nightmare. Landorus is a nightmare. Whoops. Tapu Koko is a nightmare. Celesteela is going to be interesting to see what that thing gets paired with. Clefable, just absolutely. Clefable is just absolutely a pain in the ass and an annoyance. I hate that thing. It can go die in a hole. Mew, extremely versatile. Not for round one. This was pretty good in my mind. This made sense. Darkion, this isn't my league. You'll have to talk to Shadow about that. I'm sorry, I forgot. I know I did say Coco. I said Coco. I know I said Coco. Anyways, whatever. Moving on. Beginning round two, reverse. So the draft order does reverse now. So the Go-Goats had the wheel. Shadow has the other wheel. They pick up Terrakion. Pairing Terrakion with Victini. This is a very, very scary offensive core already starting. Both of them are very, very, very... are very, very full. It's very... I'm reading the chat as I'm talking. Terrakion, Victini, both are very good band abuser. Terrakion can set up with a Rock Polish Justified, so it takes those knockoffs that Victini doesn't want to. It gets a, yes, it loses its item, but it gets a boost in its attack and just makes it even more deadly. Fighting Rock type is pretty decent typing. Base 108 speed, so it's up there with the likes of Infernape as a speed tier. Base 129 attack. You set this thing up right. It is lacking on the special attack side, so you don't have to worry about that. But Choice Banded, just run shop. Life Orb, giving this thing a Z Crystal can be nasty. Choice Scarfing this thing. Like, he now has two. The Go-Go's now have two very, very good mons that can abuse a lot of different items, and you have to think, okay, is the Victini Scarf this week? Is the Terrakion Scarf this week? Is the Victini Banded this week? Is the Terrakion Banded this week? Biggest thing I see here right now is you have a major Earthquake weakness with these two picks, and bulky water types are still going to run your shop. Like Mega Slowbro is going to just have a field day against this mon. Charizard's taking Scizor. So now you've got Charizard X, you've got Scizor. Scizor, I believe, gets default, if I remember correctly. Even though it's not something you really want to run with. Technician, boosting knockoffs, Technician boosted. Hidden Powers, Technician boosted. Bullet Punch and Priority, Technician boosted U-Turn. Just Technician boosted is a very, very good. Yeah, Matthias, Banditini. I don't see defog. This thing doesn't get defog, does it? Yeah, it does. There it is, defog. Yeah, so it can defog. It doesn't take as much damage from rocks, so it can defog. It is a poison immunity for when Charizard is or his Megadon has to come in. It doesn't take T-spikes. Base 130 attack, base 130 defense. It's on the slower side though at base 65. It dies to an HP fire. But it is a good offensive mon with priority, and it does, with that ability to defog and not take as much damage from rocks, it can help the Charizard in a pinch. Shadow, are you lagging or is it me? Because I am not streaming from my normal location. I know it's been a while. Most people probably don't remember where I normally stream from. I'm not streaming at my parents' house, or I'm not streaming at my dad's work. I'm streaming at my parents' house right now because it's snowing and I didn't want to, and it's icy, and I didn't want to try and carry my tower to my car and then carry it into my dad's work. So it could be me lagging, and if it is, I apologize. Hopefully it's not lagging in the recording, just lagging in the broadcast, because the recording should be clean to go up. Yeah, anyways, two very offensive mons here paired together with Charizard and Scizor. Interesting dragon, and Scizor and Charizard, interesting pair for your Dragon Steel Core. Waiting to see what the fairy comes. Darkion, I'm pretty sure he's going to have another season. Definitely join his Discord. !Discord from somebody in my chat, please. We'll link you to my Discord, the Weather Gamer Discord, which I can also get you to help get you to PCF's Discord through that as well, because Shadow is in there. I will be running my own league again at some point. Sorry, shameless plug, Shadow, for during PCF's stream. My league will be coming back. I don't know how many seats I have available, but I might have some seats available for that. We'll see. I took Alolan Ninetales. Everybody knows I take this mon. Torn, Matthias, Savage, how many leagues have I taken this mon in? The answer is all of them. I love Alolan Ninetales to death. I'm going to get roasted so hard all season for this because of the fact that I follow A-Drive so closely and I love this thing. But look, this thing is in the top of my kill leaders. Like, I keep track of my kill leaders for every league I've been in. I keep track of my record, all that sort of thing. Alolan Ninetales is by far one of my best used mons. The ability, it has so many different options with it. You can run Spexed Alolan Ninetales. You can run Scarfed Alolan Ninetales. You can run Expert. I've run Expert Belt, Light Clay with Aurora Veil. That's Snow Warning to get up Hail, so you can get chip damage on everything but Ice types. It's base 109 speed, so it is faster than Infernape. It is faster than I can't think of the other one that's 108 that I just talked about. Tracheon, I think. It's so good. It has Freeze Dry. You have the Light Clay to make your screens last even longer. You put things behind screens and you're gonna have a bad day. You put up setup sweepers behind this or behind those screens, and this thing is just gonna run over teams. Mega Charizard Y, hard counters. Any other weather setter is going to be a counter to this. Steel types, this thing dies in steel types. Like a bullet punch from Mega Scissor is going to kill this thing. It doesn't appreciate entry hazards. I know this thing is not perfect, but to me, it's one of my favorite mons to use, and I love it. Board, I'm glad you like the music. I can give you screenshots of what I'm using if you want. This is also the same music I use for recording for the most part. This is not my normal draft stream music though, because this is going up on YouTube, and I don't want to get claimed for copyright because I'm using other stuff. This thing does have the ability to set up because it does get Nasty Plot, it does get Calm Mind, it has Blizzard, Freeze Dry, Moonblast, Dark Pulse to catch on switch-ins, Extra Sensory to catch on switch-ins, Frost Breath, which does result in a crit all the time. It has Hex, it Heal Bells, so I can try to stop Toxic Stalls a little better with it. Hypnosis to put things to sleep. It does get Iron Tail on the physical side, even though this thing is trash physically. I could do that. It does have rain dance for some reason. If I wanted to set up rain instead. What song is playing right now, out of curiosity? I am going to turn my laptop on. I'm going to switch screens here real quick and turn my laptop on. And mute my mic. Mute my mic so I can hear what's playing right now. Actually, I can't do that. I'm going to mute my mic. That's what I'm going to do. Why do I always forget to turn my mic back on? Rye is correct. It is Game Corner. I don't remember. It's either Sinnoh Game Corner or it is Johto Game Corner by Glitch X City. I can definitely figure out which one it is later, though. I always forget to turn my mic back on. This is habitual. Whenever I'm streaming and I turn my mic off, I always forget to turn it on, and then I start talking, and it's like, hey, your mic's off, dumb shit. Oops. I never claimed I was good at this. Anyways, Alolan Ninetales. Moving on. Damn it! There's what I just talked about that I don't want to see versus my Ninetales. T-Tar. Sand Setter. So T-Tar basically destroys Alolan Ninetales. It sets sand, takes away the hail. Rock type to blow back Ninetales, Iron Tail in its move pool. This thing is just an offensive nightmare. D-Dancing T-Tar is just super sketch to have to try and play around. It does get the Spadef boost because of the sand. Paired with Mega Gallade, it's another really nasty offensive Mon. Does have the ability Unnerve if you wanted to run Unnerve over Sandstream. I don't know why you'd want to run Unnerve over Sandstream if you're gonna need the sand. Base 134 attack. It is slow. Like it's slow. Base 61 speed is really on the slower side for it. But other than that, it is pretty good. Base 110 defense, base 100 Spadef, which gets upgraded by the Sandstream. Base 100 HP, 134 attack. Dark Rock type, so fighting types are going to have a field day with this. Mega Gallade, on the other hand, says nope. I'll take that fighting type hit. Thank you very much. And then it threatens with Zen Headbutt. But Dancing T-Tar, very scary. It is a rock setter. Choice Banded T-Tar, a lot of work gets put in there. This thing can run Assault Vest and be incredibly defensive on the Spadef side. Really Spadefly invested. Your Dancing T-Tar. Choice Scarf T-Tar is an option. It's not really the best Choice Scarf user because of its base 61 speed, but it can be a Choice Scarfer. Ground type is going to have an advantage with this. Steel types are going to take this. Another Mon that's not great against water types. I don't know where. I'll pull up my playlist real quick. Media, open file, playlist, 1. Oh, my speakers are on. Go away. I'm just looking through here which one would have come up first. I'm guessing that was Johto Game Corner. If the Pokemon song from the second Pokemon movie, Lugia's song, comes up here anytime soon, then it has to be the Johto Game Corner remix. I don't know if Zelda music is playing now or if, but if you hear Lugia's song and Luigi's Mansion here shortly, then it is definitely the Johto Game Corner mix. If you hear Song of the Storms from Legend of Zelda anytime soon, that's going to mean it was Sinnoh Game Corner. Zelda music is playing right now. Okay, yeah, that was Johto Game Corner. The Johto Game Corner remix that was playing then. Gen 2. Alright, moving on. Oh, why? Why Skarmory Thunderouses? Why? Why Skarmory paired with the stupid Clefable? This thing takes those Steel-type hits. It's got weak armor, it has sturdy, keen eye, so it can't be put to sleep. 140 defense, just 80 or 140 defense. Yeah, I was looking at that. Great defensive typing. It can be a rock setter. It has defog, whirlwind, spikes, toxic, roost, brave bird, counter plus. Its sturdy ability. It's just annoying. Like, and Clefable covers on the Spadef side. This thing is just super, super annoying. Taunt does shut this thing down, but pairing this with Clefable, this team has become super annoying, super, super fast. And I don't know if I play it this season, but if I do, I'm not going to be a happy camper. Because I hate Stall. Just ask Savage if he's still hanging around. Savage brought a Stall team week 1 and built a Stall team for most of WWC until he changed it to more offensive. I hate Stall. Go hyper offense or don't. Shadow, I hate you so much right now. Why? Why do I have to play this stupid team? I hate it. Go away. Skarmory is a great hazard control, and Skarmory is great for hazard control. It's going to pair nicely with that Clefable. Just, hey, it's snowing. Just super, super, super annoying. The Gyarados, Zapdos, and Volcarona. So, Zapdos is a very good mon. It has a great pairing, or great typing. The only problem is, again, this thing is weak to Stealth Rocks. It does have pressure to lower PP by 2 stages. It does have static is another great ability, so if you make physical contact with it, it gets paralyzed. It has reliable recovery and roost. It can defog. Base 125 special attack. Like a discharge roost, defog heat wave set is pretty good. It can be defensive with leftovers. Great hidden power abuser with that base 125. If you could get Mega Scissor partnered with this, granted you have Volcarona already, but Mega Scissor partnered with this would be great. Mega Charizard X can use this thing as a setup sweeper. So that's going to be abused. T-Tar is going to abuse the hell out of this thing. Huron Black can abuse this thing. If you roost, ground types are going to take advantage of you. It can baton pass around. It does have the ability to protect itself through detect. It has access to extra sensory, all the hidden powers, heat wave. It can set up screens, which can help protect that Volcarona a little bit. If you get lucky, you could set up with Ominous Wind, potentially. It can roar things in and out. Looking here, it does have Sunny Day. Tailwind user. To get your Tailwind up, it does have pivoting in both U-turn and Volt Switch. It's a good mon. It helps Volcarona. Just still don't know if this is like a good pairing of this team. The wing goals, here is Torn T. So Mew and Torn T, very interesting combo. Torn T with Regenerator, so this thing gives itself some defensive capabilities, allows it to take hits, come back in, take hits, come back in and out. It does have U-turn to rotate around and get that Regenerator off. Base 121 speed, so it is very good on the fast side. Can run physical, can run special. Again, with the 100, 110, really not that far off. Torn T paired with Mew. This is another defogger, so Mew doesn't necessarily have to carry the defog. Hurricanes with this thing, it can knock off. Superpower, you can run Fly Z. Like, this is a great Fly Z abuser. Rocky Helmet on this thing is pretty good. Tapu Koko is going to have a field day with this. Zeraora is going to have a field day with this. Zapdos completely shuts this thing down. So, hey, Zapdos just got taken. Let's take something that doesn't stand up to Zapdos. And, like, bulky entry setters that have recovery. So, like, what is the metal bird that just got taken 2 picks ago? Charlie. That thing can sit in front of this thing, but it does have, like, if you wanted to run a acrobatics set, it has Air Slash for flinching, it does get bulk up, it has Dark Pulse for coverage, Extra Sensory for coverage, Hidden Powers are an option. As always, Heat Wave is good. It does have Icy Wind for speed control, knockoff I talked about. It does have Rain Dance, so if the Wingulls decide to live up to their mascot's older brother and go for a Rain team, they could run Rain Dance on this thing if they need to. Again, that U-turn being able to switch around. It does set up Tailwind, also very nice. Life Orb Heat Wave, thank you Tez, and Matthias. I keep getting you mixed up when I do that. I really seriously think you're not Matthias when I see that. See your name, I forget that that's you. It does have Smackdown as well. Thank you for pointing that out, Shadow. So again, Regen Core to help and take some pressure off of Mew. Also a very good Mon. And this is apparently his ace. Sorry about the blue screen flicker there. I was trying to pull the chat back up. Absol's taking Bulu. Bulu really, really nicely paired with Infernape. Tapu Bulu can basically do what it wants here with Infernape. In the background to take those fire type hits for it. To take resisted poison type hits since it's fighting type. Grassy Surge gives Infernape recovery, which it desperately needs when it starts firing off Choice Banded Flare Blitzes. This thing is also a physical monster at 130 attack. Very good defenses at 115. You pair that with its grassy terrain and potentially lefties. It can be a very good defensive mon as well. You can bulk up Swords Dance, set up with it. Horn Leech for recovery, superpower. It does get Synthesis. It is a very good Z abuser in having both Grass Z, Fighting Z, Fairy Z. You can throw a Choice Band on this thing and just have it go to town. Choice Banded Wood Hammers with recovery from the grassy terrain. It has Zen Headbutt, it has Stone Edge. It's a very nice, like, physical mon that can take some hits. Fire types are going to run through it. Infernape kind of protects that. Steel types are going to run through it. Infernape protects that with its both its stabs. This thing gets Mega Horn, so it can deal with bulky grass types as well. The biggest thing is going to be flying types. Granted, Stone Edge kind of takes care of that, but flying types are going to have a field day right now with the Absols. Infernape doesn't appreciate them, Bulu doesn't appreciate them, but both do have coverage to deal with flying types. This is turning into a very nice fire, water, grass core as well, and picking up part of the fairy steel dragon core. White Forest Weedles, Toxapex, for fuck's sake, can we stop with the stall teams, please? Please, can we stop with the stall teams? We now have Clefable and Skarmory stall. We now have Latios and Toxapex with stall. Toxapex doesn't appreciate psychic typing attacks. Latios couldn't care less about psychic typing attacks. Toxapex Toxics and T-Spikes that Latios greatly appreciates when it wears down its opponent's walls. Toxapex has Regenerator, so it can come in and out. Toxapex has base 142 and 152 special defense, so it does not die very easily. Toxapex has Haze to stop setup sweepers. It can knock off, it can recover. It is just a pain in the ass and an annoyance, and I am so sick and tired. So sick and tired of stall teams already, and we're only 2 picks in. Electric types, which Latios resists. Ground types, Latios has Levitate. Toxapex is a good mon. Yes, I agree. Toxapex is a good mon. But it's bulky and annoying, and I hate bulky and annoying. Braveries, Gothitelle, and this thing does have Arena Trap, or not Arena Trap, Shadow Tag. Shadow Tag is incredibly annoying. I've never actually been in a league where Shadow Tag was allowed. I know Shadow Tag is going to be a problem because basically Shadow Tag traps you. If this thing traps a mon that it can just set up on, it's going to set up, just continuously combinding up until it sweeps. With that Shadow Tag, it can sweep. It does get Frisk if you want Frisk to find out items, but this thing with Shadow Tag is going to be annoying. It does, like, if you wanted to PP stall it, you could, but there's no reason to. Pursuit's gonna kill this thing, but again, if the thing's not carrying Pursuit, you're fine. Shed Shell is gonna have to come against this thing. Pivoting moves are also gonna need to come, so it's just, Rye, it's nothing against you. This thing is just going to be a pain in my ass. This thing is single-handedly going to be revenge for that Mandibuzz of mine, and I can see it coming. This can easily trap in something that's going to take down Kyurem Black and set up, if it can set up in front of it, deal with that and take out a threat and allow Kyurem Black to just come in and run shop after its threats have been trapped and killed. Very good mon, very scary to think about. Seattle Primarina spies Jirachi. We got Jirachi here. Jirachi, basically, I'm gonna just say one thing: flinch hacks, or paraflinch. That's Jirachi's most known for thing, is paraflinching you with the Serene Grace. Zen Headbutts, T-Waves, another base 100. Psychic Steel type is very good. Oh wait, I forgot, Rye, you did do that. So, draft stream is late, by the way. I apologize. We are several weeks, we're like 2 weeks into the season already, so some changes have been made to teams already, but computer died, you know about that, go check out YouTube. Oh, thank you, I don't play this stupid hacks game. Shadow, I now forgive you for making me play the OC Thunder twice, but I'm still not happy that I have to deal with this stupid thing, or that I don't have to deal with this. This thing really pairs nicely with Mega Lopunny, actually. It takes the Psychic type hits that Mega Lopunny doesn't want to hit. It takes Flying type moves that Mega Lopunny doesn't want to deal with. slows everything down, like legit. It drops off T-Waves, and now Mega Lopunny is the fastest thing alive if it can get paras off on a lot of things. You can have a very, very bulky set with like leftovers and defense investment. Flinch hacks with Iron Head. This thing does get U-turn to switch around. It can be a rock setter. It does get Wish, so you, wish passing going around. It does have access to Healing Wish, so if it needs to suicide, it can. I don't recommend it suicides, but it can. It can be a decent Scarfer if you want to run on the offensive side. Heatran's going to beat this thing. Water types are going to beat this thing. Ground types are going to beat this thing. Dark types have to worry about Mega Lopunny. And fire types, again, like Heatran just walls this thing, but then fire types also. Fire types also kind of just beat it right now. But this thing, Shadow, why? Why do I have to play Lopunny Jirachi? Why? You're so mean. Don't tease me like that, man. I don't appreciate it. Don't tease me like that. Actually, yeah, I knew I did play him because I have to do week 6 early. Again, go check out the update video on my YouTube channel if you want to know what's going on. I will be gone for like 3 weeks, so I have to bulk record. That's where I'm going to be like the next 2 weeks, is bulk recording a whole bunch of stuff for you guys to have while I'm out of town, which includes playing a lot of matches. Oh, and again, I don't have my front office, just throwing that out there. I don't have my front office for this league. At least not right now, I don't, because I am working with them on just APA right now. At the time, I had 2 leagues, all that good stuff, yeah. Anyways, no front office, so prepare for me to get run over quite a bit. Anyways, moving on. Blazekins, Acorn, right? Yeah, Lord of Acorn. Shadow, I don't think he disconnected. I think it might have been me as well, because I saw myself disconnect. I do have, I'm going to do screen section here real quick. I do have my laptop open. I am kind of watching my screen just to make sure it's not super, super buggy, but I think I did DC there for a second. I'm going to go double check. I am still streaming, but I think it might have really, really lagged, and it actually looks like it's lagging right now. Come on, stream. We're only in the round 2. Please survive long enough. I know I'm laggy, and this is the inherent problem. I think I'm lagging really hard. Somebody please let me know. If I'm super, super laggy and it doesn't stop, I will have to cut the stream, but I'll keep recording. Yeah, I'm watching it over here, and I can see I'm like, doot, and that's probably not helping. I think I'm lagging. Okay, looks like I'm back and not lagging anymore. Or maybe I am. I don't know. Somebody let me know if I'm lagging really hard. Boise State Blazekins have now did it at my Discord again? Okay, yeah, so I DC'd. Sorry about that. I DC'd for some reason. Internet just dropped me off for a second. Hopefully this is running better now. Moving on. I'm going to have to start picking this up in case I do start to really start dropping fast. Not Volcarona. Why do I do this? Volcarona, Volcanion. 2 different mons. Volcanion paired with Zygarde. Volcanion is a very good SPDF mon with an Assault Vest. It's also a very good Specs Abuser. Fire Water type with the Water Absorb, so it eats those Water type hits that Zygarde won't appreciate a lot. Base 120 defense, base 90 SPDF, 110 physical attack, 103 special attack. I am using Volcanion right now in another league. I'm liking it. It's a pretty fun mon. Ground type and electric type moves kind of run through this. Granted, electric type paired with Zygarde protect this thing pretty nicely. Steam Eruption just runs through a lot of mons, especially if it's Specs. dragon types will counter this thing pretty hard because there's not really much in the way of stab for this thing, and Ice Beam doesn't do a lot. Bulky water types do sit in front of this thing as well. Entry hazards like rocks are just terrible for this thing. Spikes are just terrible for this thing. And this thing is on the slow side at base 70. It's not great being that slow, but it can put in work, and it has put in work for me. Pairing this thing with Zygarde is going to be very interesting to see how this works out. But two really hard-hitting mons right now for this team. Celesteela's Greninja. Snipe. I got sniped super hard right here. I wanted Greninja. This team is also scaring me just a little bit. It's not Protein Greninja, it is Torrent only. Protein Greninja is not allowed in this league. But this team was giving me a little PTSD as I was watching it being drafted, because this team now lines up with Spare, the champion of WWC. He had Landorus, he had Greninja. Greninja is incredibly fast. I think it's max speed with a boosted nature is like 377, if I remember correctly. It's base 122, I know that. Decent attack, decent special attack. Very good Z Crystal abuser. It's a spike setter. It can hydro pump and destroy you. It can run physical as well if you want. Very good. Scarfer, hey Damien. Yeah, Damien, you've been a mod for a long time. You're a mod in the Discord. You're a mod here. That's how it works. You've been a mod for a long time, dude. Scarf, it has pivot with U-turn. Choice scarfing this makes it incredibly stupidly fast. It does have access to T-spikes. T-spikes are really good to get this thing set up. It can take the ice hits for Greninja, or not Greninja, Landorus. It dishes out its own ice hits. Pretty decent move pool. The Boston Celesteela's logo, I don't know who made that. You would have to ask Cobra. Damien, thank you for the toast. If it's the PCF logo, you'll have to ask Shadow, because I don't know who made that either. But Greninja is a very scary PCF one. Ask Shadow, he'll know. His league, he'll know. Greninja is a very good offensive threat to pair with Landorus. Clyde Cloisters, Suicune, the bulky dog. Very bulky dog. Suicune is a very bulky dog. Crocoon is a thing. It has pressure. Base 85 speed is pretty good. Base 115 defense and SPDF, so this thing is a defensive nightmare. Thunderous does not take the hits, though, right? Yeah, it's not the Volt Absorb. Volt Absorb Thunderous, so it does have that weakness to electric types hitting it. But Crocoon, defensive Suicune, Water Z, Suicune, Haze, to block it's gonna hurt it, but this thing is just a defensive nightmare and a very good defensive core for Gank and the Cloisters. And depending on how he fills out his team, it can pair very nicely with a lot of different things. And there is Latios, the Reshiram. So now Mega Latios and Latios have both gone again. Why do the Osses go before the Oses? I don't know. It's just personal preference in my thing. This thing is Mega Latios Light, or Latios Light. Has that levitate ability. Base 110 speed is the same as Mega. It's not as SPDEF invested, not as defensive invested, and its special attack is not as good, but it's still great at 110. It is just a monster, has the same Calm Mind Roost setup. This thing can abuse Life Orb, Dragon Z, Levitate, so it takes care of Tapu Koko's Earthquake issues. It's a good defensive pair with Tapu Koko. Green Lake Gliscor, I swear to God. Oh, I hate Stall. Savage, if you're still around, hi. Here's your team from WWC back again. Mega Venusaur. This thing is defensive out the wazoo. Pair it with Celesteela. Defensive out the wazoo. This is a bulky Stall, toxic Stall. He can seed with Celesteela. He can seed with this thing. He can toxic with this thing. He can toxic with Celesteela. He can set up Synthesis Recover. This thing also has thick fat, and that means no fire or ice types, so this thing only dies to Psychic or Great Power. I am so sick and tired of Stall. Oh, and I play this team week 2 as well, and it's going to be a nightmare to deal with for Stall. So, thank you, Shadow, for continuing to rebuild the team that 5-0'd me to start my WWC match. At least I know how to beat that now, kind of. So that's going to kick it off for round 2. We have Terrakion going to the Go-Goats. We have Scizor to the Charizards, Alolan Ninetales to the Bearticks, Tyranitar to the Lucarios, Skarmory to the OKC, Thunderuses. We have Zapdos to the Ganondels. We have Torntea to the Wingulls. The Absols picked up Tapu Bulu. We have Toxapex to the Weedles. The Brivarius taking Gothitelle. The Primarinas with Jirachi. The Blazikins with Volcarona. The Celesteelas with Greninja. The Cloisters with Suicune. Reshiram's with Latios, and the Gliscor is continuing to take bulk with Venusaur. Let's see, what is this song? Let me pull the playlist back up again. Media, open file, playlist 1. What played right before this? So obviously we've had Luigi's song, Luigi's Mansion. Mute the mic, actually, that'll tell me what it is. Okay, I got my mic back on. Cool. Shadow. This one is it's another. Turn that down. It's another Glitch X City remix. It is Pokemon Mansion remix. Yes. So round 2, Jirachi very nicely paired with the Mega Lopunny. Suicune is a very nice pick for the bulk. For the Cloisters, you just start building their bulky core. Latios pairs very nicely, gives a defensive Mon, pairs very nicely with the Tapu Koko. That Gothitelle pairs very nicely with Kyurem Black to give it a defensive pivot. Terrakion with Victini is another good pair. I think head scratching picks a little bit. Skarmory, Zapdos, to me, were a little head scratching. with how the teams are composed. Volcanion a little bit. I'm not sure how that fits together quite well yet, but we'll see. We'll see how things fill out. Why, Shadow? What is with you in bulk, man? You just have like this extreme need for bulky mons? Like legit. Why are you running bulk so badly? I'm not happy with this, my dude. Hydreigon, Levitate user. So it can deal with those EQ issues Venusaur doesn't like to take. Hydreigon is a very good Specs abuser. It's a very good Assault Vest user. It does have Defog. It can set up. With Dragon, does it get Dragon Dance? Base 98 speed is pretty good. 125 special attack is amazing. It's a good Scarf abuser, Life Orb abuser, Specs abuser. Z-Captain is pretty good for this thing. It does have access to Taunt. It can Roost. Drop a Draco. Fits very well with bulky offensive teams. Okay, I see what you're building there. I know it's offensive. It's a good Specs user. Fairy types are going to run through it. Granted, Celesteela and Venusaur laugh at those. Fighting types are going to get after it. Again, Venusaur and Celesteela laugh at those. It's got good coverage. It can run physical with Aqua Tail. If you run a fairy on it, you can belch for fun. Does not get D-Dance, so it can't set up with D-Dance. Earth Power, Flamethrower, Flash Cannon, Focus Blast, Heat Wave. Does get Head Smash for some reason. Does have Ice Fang. It has an Ice Tail or Iron Tail. Signal Beam, Stone Edge. It does set up Tailwind. It is a Pivot Mon with U-Turn. It can be effect. It can be Scarf Hydreigon is the worst Hydreigon. I don't know. Specs is pretty good. Yeah, this thing it fits nicely. It pairs nicely. It's a good mon. It fits your team. It fits what you're trying to do, and it helps protect your Venusaur when Celesteela has a bad matchup. I can't complain. It is a good offensive mon. I just hate the fact that you're building a full team. Reshiram's taking Ferrothorn. I am super mad about this pick too. This was another snipe. I was planning to take Ferrothorn because I needed some defense. I needed some hazard setting capabilities. Yes, I know it's quad weak to fire. Ninetales will increase the fire, but Ferrothorn is a very good mon. It's very slow. It does get the ability to set up hazards. Iron Barb's ability, plus a Rocky Helmet, just make this thing super hard to hit physically. Like if you wanted to, if you're worried about a knockoff on Latios or Tapu Koko, you bring Ferrothorn in, the Rocky Helmet plus the Iron Barb does like 25% to it. It's just very good defensively. Base 131, defense 116, speed def, decent attack at 94. It's just super slow. It can drop seeds. It has Power Whip. It has knockoff. It's just really annoying. It can explode if you need a suicide. For some reason, it explodes. Yes, we are in round 3. They should get faster. I need them to go faster because I have to go do some stuff here around me. But yes, it fits your team nicely. It's a very nice steel resistance for Tapu Koko, and it completes your Fairy Steel Dragon Core. That's actually a pretty decent Fairy Steel Dragon Core. 2 offenses and a defensive steel type. Not bad. Team's coming along pretty good with these first 3 mons. Cloisters, Amoonguss. So now it looks like we have another bulky team coming here. Amoonguss with Regenerator. Spore, it can be really annoying. It's a T-Spikes absorber, so Suicune doesn't appreciate T-Spikes, but this thing absorbs them. Doesn't care. It can put things to sleep. It is on the slower side, but it does have regen capabilities. It does have Effect Spore as well. 114 HP, makes it very good defense. This thing is probably the second best grass poison type outside of Mega Venusaur as far as a defensive typing goes. It has recovery with Giga Drain, Black Sludge. It does get Clear Smog to stop setup sweepers. Fire types are going to have some fun with this, but Suicune handles those. Psychic types are going to have some fun with this. Flying types are going to have some fun with this, but Tornadus kind of deals with those. And really, really strong wall breakers like the Hydreigon being specs are going to hurt this thing. And of course, Steel type setup sweepers are going to have some fun with this too, because it can't be Clear Smog. So like Cobalion can get ahead on this thing. Latios can get on this thing. But it is a very good Mon. It has very good coverage, very reliable recovery. Yes, it should be the Lavender Town remix, based on where we're at in the list. We should be listening to Lavender Town remix. The previous one was the Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire Gym Leader remix. I use a lot of Glitch X City music, by the way, in my stuff. That and Kumu music, I think, is the other one. I can, if you're in the Discord, or you just want to get a hold of me through if you're in my Discord server, or if you want to get a hold of me through Discord, you can always message me and I can drop you links to the channels for where I get my music from. It's just stuff that I have come to love for streaming. Celesteela's, yay! There we go. There's a Latios. There is finally a Latios off the board. Thank you. Somebody took one of these monsters off the board. I like Latios. It's much more offensive. Levitate ability is great. Hits like a truck. Can set up with D-Dance. Can set up with Calm Mind. Can run physical. Can run special. Can be a great Z-move user. Can be a very good Life Orb user. Can be a good Specs user. Can be a good Scarfer, Levitate user, so it does protect from ground type moves. Granted, Landorus already does that. A little bit of an ice weakness going on here with Greninja really being the only resist. Definitely something this boss and Celesteela's need to watch out for. But this is, to me, a very good Mon. I've used this thing very nicely in other leagues. I like it. Why Latios over Mega Latios? I don't know. Maybe you're saving your Mega for something else, or you need points later on. I personally would have gone with Mega Latios over this, but hey, regular Latios just as nice. Tangrowth for the Blazikids. So here is your Fire, Water, Grass core in 2 Mons. Tangrowth with recovery is very nice. Reliable recovery in Synthesis and Synthesis and Leech Seeds. This is a Leech Seed immune Mon. Since it's grass type. Regenerator is great. Chlorophyll, if you for some reason have Sun up. It's on the slow side, but it has 150 HP, 150, 100 HP, 125 defense. So Shadow, this should be my brother from Pokemon the first movie. It's from the very first Pokemon movie, when Ash gets turned to stone and they're fighting and all that. Yeah, that's where that one comes from. I like me some Pokemon music. I like me some remixes. I throw that in every now and then. The only problem with Tangrowth, though, transitioning guy, base 50 Spadette. It is definitely in need of a Assault Vest at times to allow it to survive. It does have good coverage. It can knock off. It does have Earthquake, Sludge Bomb. The hidden powers are decent. Yeah, Shadow, it is from the end of that movie. Mega Venusaur is going to be a big check to this thing. Flying types are going to have some fun with this, as will bug types. Fire types are going to have fun with this. Grandidium, Volcarona, Volcanion. Oh my god, somebody keep track of how many times I call Volcanion, Volcarona, Volcanion. Please, somebody tell me how many times I do that, because I'm going to keep doing it. This thing could Bankai with ancient powers if it wanted to. Energy Ball. It's a very good bulky mon. I've used it, not in Draft League, but when I've laddered. It's a very nice bulky boy, and it does help mitigate some of those hits on Zygarde, but again, you have another Ice Weak mon. Okay. Seattle Primarina's Weavile. This thing is a monster. It's fast, and it hits like a truck. You throw a Choice Band on this thing, goodbye. You throw a Scarf on this thing, goodbye. It does die to fighting type moves. Your entire team is kind of fighting weak at this point because Lopunny doesn't appreciate it, Jirachi doesn't appreciate it. Granted, Jirachi can fire off psychic type moves to deal with that. Pressure ability, so it does weaken or use up 2 moves instead of 1. Your opponent does. 120 attack is huge. 125 speed is great. Pair this with Jirachi and dropping pairing this with Thunder Waving Jirachi, this thing enjoys because of the speed. Choice Band, Icicle Crash, Choice Band Knockoff, Choice Band Ice Shard for priority, Choice Band Pursuit Trapping, Low Kick to take down opposing Dark types. Problem is priority. This thing is very, very frail. It's like base, I believe 65 physical defense, so it's very, very frail. But it does pair very nicely with Jirachi. Fighting types run through this. Anything that resists Weavile's stab is going to have some fun, and faster Scarfers are obviously going to be a problem. Bulky Mons are going to be a problem too. This thing does get Dig though, so it can deal with some. I know it's a 2-turn move, but it could deal with something with Dig. I don't know. Could also be a pretty good Z Crystal user. Washington Brivary's Mega Scissor. Thank you for sniping me. Thank you for sniping me, Rye. Legit, this is where I start getting really, really hit hard with snipes. I lost Ferrothorn, so I was like, okay, what's the next thing I get? Let's put Mega Scissor behind screens and see what happens there. Nope, Rye takes Mega Scissor. Mega Scissor is a very, very good mon. It's a little on the slow side compared to other mons. Like, I think it's 71, or 75. Mega Scissor is base speed 75. Granted, it has 140 defense and a monstrous 150 attack with Technician. Technician boosted, like, knockoff Bullet Punch. Like, regular Scissor is good with Technician. Mega Scissor with Technician just runs teams hardcore. But this thing also does die to an HP fire as well. That speed stat really is what hinders it a lot. If this thing had like base 90 speed, this thing would be a monster in my mind. I love Mega Scissor. I wanted to try it. And it pairs very nicely with Huron Black because it can eat those it eats those steel type attacks for it. Gothitelle also pairs very well because it can trap Scissors threats and deal with them as well. Huron Black takes the fire type hits pretty well for this thing. You drop a Swords Dance with Roost at knockoff or U-turn. This thing is super, super good. Magnezone can come in and kind of kill it though with Magnet Pull. Water types tend to wall this thing, but it's also Toxic Spike immune, so it can defog Toxic Spikes if it needs to. It can defog rocks. It's just I'm watching you guys run calcs over there in the chat and just laughing. I gotta transition that faster so it doesn't blue screen all the time. Anyways, very good mon. I'm really mad that you sniped me, Rye, but this thing's gonna be this thing is going to be paired very nicely with Huron Black, and it's a very nice Dragon and Steel Fairy Core started right there. Yes, I do have a lot of Hoenn music, but you know, I listen to a lot of Glitch X City, and a lot of her music is, I believe it's her music, yeah. I'm pretty sure, I'm trying to remember the Twitter. A lot of her music is from Hoenn. White Forest Reedles, Gly Squirrel. Who coaches these again? Clem? No, this isn't what I was thinking of. Anyways, Gly Squirrel, another stupidly defensive Mon. HP Ice kind of kills it, but Toxapex doesn't care. This thing can set up Toxic Spikes. This thing doesn't mind getting Toxic because of its Toxic Healing ability. It has Roost for recovery. It's just like base 125 defense makes it super defensive. Decent speed at 95. It's versatile. Being a Stealth Rock setter, you can Swords Dance with it to Swords Dance to boost its attack. It does get Facade, so that Toxic Facade is very nice. It's just that immunity to poisoning is great for it. I'm just scrolling through here. It does get knockoff. Grass types kind of hurt this thing. Toxapex tends to deal with those. Ice types kind of hurt this thing. Toxapex deals with this. Bulky water types can hit this thing. Toxapex deals with bulky water types. Really, this thing pairs really nicely with Mega Latios and Toxapex, and he now has, Clem, I didn't even realize you were here. Sorry. Clem, I didn't even realize you were here. Sorry about that. This thing just pairs very, very nicely across the board in my mind with what he's got. Why? Can you just not do that, please? Thank you. Screen, please don't do that. There we go. There we go. Okay, I got this minimized now where I can watch both. Got it. Cool. We're set. It only took into round 3 to get there. Yeah, but anyways, this thing pairs very nicely with Toxapex, being able to deal with the EQ immunities. Austin Absols, finally, the last of the Lotties to go off the board is Mega Latios. Mega Latios, same thing I said about Latios. This was a snipe as well. After Mega Scizor went down, I was thinking, okay, and Mega Charizard had gone down, I was thinking, okay, let's put Mega Latios behind screens and have some fun. Mega Latios is just as good as regular Latios. It doesn't have the weakness to knock off, being as crystals can't be knocked, or not crystals, stones can't be knocked off. Levitate ability, it gets a boost in its physical attack as well. Its special attack is off the charts. Drop a Draco, set up, very good defense, 110 speed, not great, but good. It falls in the same speed tier as Mega Gallade. If it had that 5-point boost that Mega Gallade does as well, or needs as well, this thing would be even more of a nuisance. Plus, it can D-Dance and set up and get its speed that way. It's a very nice offensive Mon. It helps with Infernape on the Earthquake. Granted, so does Bulu. And this makes a very nice Dragon Fairy Core started already. Wingles, Crocodile. I just realized I never realized this. Somebody hopefully sees this. Look at Crocodile's head. Tell me what you see. Crocodile's head. Nintendo, why did you design that the way it is? Crocodile has actually a lot of really nice abilities. Moxie, so if it kills something, it gets a boost in its attack. It can sweep with Moxie boost. Intimidate to drop physical attacks is very nice. It does have Anger Point. I don't think that's really a good ability for competitive, but Anger Point to get you to +6 if you get hit by a crit. Crocodile is a really good Z Crystal abuser. It also, base 117 attack is very good, 92 speed is pretty good. Special attack is absolute trash. Choice Scarf is a very good abuser. Ground Z is a good option. Life Orb. Okay, Anger Point is plus 12 on Showdown, but stat-wise it's plus 6. Oh, it is? Okay, never mind. Thank you, board. I did not know that. Okay. See, this is why I'm glad I have people in my chat. Yeah, Scarf Moxie is an incredibly good set. I love Scarf Moxie. I've used Scarf Moxie. Scarf Moxie puts in work. Fairy types kind of deal with this thing. Fighting types, granted Mew handles that. Torn handles the fighting types. Grass types, not really any grass coverage right now outside of Torn right now. Faster Pokemon deal with this. Scizor can be a nuisance for this thing, but it does have coverage. And just Moxie Boost Moxie Boost Scarf. Correct, can really put in work. Mega Absol to the Naganadel. So Mega Absol, again, suffers from speed issues. Same as Mega Gallade. Mega Absol is 115, so it's better than Mega Gallade, but again, just a little more speed on Mega Absol, and it would be a thing of beauty. 150 attack, 115 special attack, but it's really, really frail on the defensive side. Okay, Tez, tell that to someone who has watched this thing get baton passed plus 2 speed and get swept. I've seen what this thing can do with just a hair more speed to it. Like, you give this thing base 120 speed and it's going to destroy a lot of teams. Justified is... So it gets magic bounce, so hazards get bounced back. So it's a great hazard checker, great toxic checker. Prior to Mega Evolution, the fact that it has Justified, so it can come in, take a knockoff, doesn't lose its item, gets plus 1 attack, Mega Evolves, and then runs through teams is great. Like a Life Orb, Swords Dance, knockoff, Sucker Punch type of set, play rough coverage. It just really burns through. It just really burns through a lot, and it now here's protection for Volcarona and Zapdos. This now kind of makes those first 2 picks make a little more sense. Stealth Rocks get blown back. Volcarona can not have to worry about Stealth Rocks and set up a little bit. Zapdos doesn't have to worry about Stealth Rocks, can get things rolling. This thing is going to be pretty good. The only problem is its lackluster bulk is going to make it very easy to get hit by like priority moves from like an Iron Fist Mach Punch, an Iron Fist Bullet Punch. Not gonna feel too good for this thing. It'll be alright. OKC Thunderous is Mamo. So now you got your offense started. Mamoswine is incredibly good as an offensive mod. Choice Banded. Mamo is incredibly hard hitting. This thing literally hits like a truck with Choice Band. Thick Fat, so it can handle those fire type moves that Skarmory doesn't like. It can set up Stealth Rocks itself. Ground type, so it can threaten poison types for Clefable. Base 110 HP, base 130 attack. It just hits like a truck. Give it a Life Orb. Has priority in Ice Shard. Can knock off, has Stealth Rocks. Fighting types are going to get this thing, but Clefable doesn't care. Super effective priority, again, Clefable doesn't care. Decent coverage. Acorn, if it had 120 speed, it would not need Sucker Punch. And that's the thing. That's the thing with Absol. It's a little too relied on Sucker Punching. Anyways, this thing is going to be a very offensive nightmare paired with that Skarmory and Clefable. Egyptian Lucarios, I now know what they're doing. Drafting Landorus Incarnate here. No Sheer Force, so don't have to worry about that, but it is Sand Force Lando. Sand Force Lando with T-Tar in the sand is going to be a nightmare. It has great attack, great special attack. 101 speed is pretty good. Like this thing, he is literally. I see what Mars is doing here. Mars is building a sand team. Mars is a person after my own heart. Everybody knows I love weather teams. I ran a rain team. Several times I've run rain teams. Sand is one of those that I just don't quite understand. I haven't quite figured out how to run a good sand team. This thing gets SpDef boost, so or gets a SpDef boost from the sand. This just becomes very, very scary. It's a scary mon outside of sand. It just becomes even better in the sand now. T-Tar takes those ice hits. Gallade takes those ice hits. Very, very nicely paired with the T-Tar. It doesn't get... I thought sand set up SpDef boost. Only rock types? Okay, see, this is again... Thank you, Tez. I thought all like rock, ground, and steel types got a SpDef boost from Sandstorm. Turns out it's just rock. Cool. I'm an idiot, thanks. I told you, I have zero competitive knowledge. Like, I really thought it got SpDef. Yeah, the Sand Force I knew about. But I thought Sandstorm gave a SpDef boost to ground, steel, and rock types, not just rock types. So, yeah, this is building up to be quite a scary team. Already very offensively threatening. T-Tar can serve as a wall. Needs a little more defense, but so far so good. Speaking of defensive, Mega Blastoise. So I lost out on Mega Charizard. I lost out on Mega Scizor. I lost out on Mega Absol. Or Mega Lottie, not Mega Absol. Lost out on Mega Lottie. So I went Blastoise. I could have gone Mega Garchomp. I love Mega Garchomp. It's one of my favorite Megas. But I decided to go with Mega Blastoise. I wanted to work with it. Mega Launcher is just such a very broken ability with some of the moves this thing gets. Mega Launcher gives you, I believe, 1.5 times. Yeah, 1.5 multiplier to pulse-based moves. So Water Pulse, Dark Pulse, Dragon Pulse, Aurasphere gets the boost as well. This thing has base 135 special attack. So it absolutely hits like a nightmare. 120 defense, 115 special defense. It is slower side with 78 speed, but it hits like a truck. It really does. Zeraora takes care of those electric type moves. Alolan Ninetales can handle the grass type moves. This thing does get rapid spin, so it can rapid spin away rocks, which really aren't nice to Alolan Ninetales. It can be a giant tank, basically, if I need to. So here's some defense to try and help with two offensive mons. Looking forward to messing with it. Special walls kind of just sit in front of this thing, though. And Mega Blastoise also doesn't have residual, or doesn't have recovery, so like chips from Stealth Rocks and that do hurt it pretty badly. Charizard's taking Garchomp. I don't understand this pick. When you already have Megazard X, why you would need Garchomp as well. Megazard X Garchomp Scizor is very, very offensive team. This team has a lot of offensive pressure. Garchomp dies to Ice Beam or any ice type move. Scizor eats those. It's another resist for fire typing that Scizor doesn't appreciate and handles fire types. It's a great Z move user. It can abuse the hell out of a Scarf. It can abuse bans. It can run special if need be. It's actually faster than its mega form, which is a little weird. Rough Skin Rocky Helmet is another good set if you want to run defense. Other than that, I don't really understand this pick. I don't see why you would need Garchomp and Charizard X. Finishing off the round, we have Rotom Wash. There is your Earthquake immunity for Terrakion and Victini. This, I think, was one of the better picks of round 3. This thing pairs super, super well with Victini, pairs super well with Terrakion. Don't have to worry so much about Earthquaking outside of Mold Breaker. Water type Hydro Pump really helps deal with those ground types that want to try and fire off the Earthquake. Thunderbolt is great for the water types, which kind of have a field day with Victini and Terrakion both being weak to it. Thunderbolt dealing with flying types that Terrakion doesn't appreciate. This thing can defog, which helps with Victini. It has decent bulk at 107 on both the defense and the SPDF side. Trying to think what else is good with this thing. Will-O-Wisping, like it has decent recovery and Pain Split. It can Will-O-Wisp to threaten physical attackers, Volt Switch to turn around, and pivot. Like if it's Choice Banded Victini, go into Rotom to reset and not take the EQ, then Volt Switch out on their switch, get Victini back in, and continue to just run shop, or Terrakion can get back in if it's choice locked. Doesn't appreciate grass types, but Victini handles those. And again, Mold Breaker or Smackdown Zygarde is not good against this. But this to me was one of the better picks of the round, in my mind. So recapping round 3 here, as soon as I get my thing to move correctly. Maybe. I can't see it anymore. So, recapping round 3, we had, I'm gonna pull this up on my laptop, because I can't have, otherwise I'm gonna start doing the, blue screening again, and I don't like doing that. Again, I'm not a professional. I never claimed to be. Come on, computer, catch up with me. Phoenix Cup Federation, please open so I can see your draft recap. Actually, I can't because my laptop is dying. I'm gonna cheat this a little bit. So, recapping that round, we had Hydreigon go to the Gliscors, we had Ferrothorn go to the Reshurams, Amoonguss to the Cloisters, Latios to the Celesteelas, Tangrowth to the Blazikins, Weavile to the Primarinas, Scizor to the Braveries, Gliscor to the Weedles, Mega Latios to the Absols, Krookodile to the Wingulls, Mega Absol to the Ganondorfs, Mamoswine to the Thundurus, Landorus to the Lucarios, not Ludicolos, Mega Blastoise to the Bearticks, Garchomps to the Charizards, Rotom Wash to the Go-Goats. Best picks of that round, I think, were Rotom Wash, Landorus, Absol kind of helps make sense, and Mega Scizor. Probably the best picks in my mind for that round, really helping fill their teams out. We do see defensive cores coming together, seeing Tangrowth and Amoonguss come off the board. See some, whoops, spoiler alert, seeing some offensive cores fill out now a little more too. Seeing Mamoswine come up, seeing Garchomp. Garchomp pick really was the pick of the round that made no sense to me whatsoever. I don't know why that pick was made. It is what it is. Kicking off round 4, we have the Go-Goats taking Shaman. So now they've got a grass type to deal with those water types as well that Victini and Terrakion don't appreciate, to also deal with the Mold Breaker issue of Rotom Wash. This thing doesn't care. Shaman's another base 100 legend, or not legendary, Mythical does have Nature Cure, so it can switch in and out and lose its Blind Mon. Only for you, board. It's a Blind Mon. Nature Cure, so if it gets status, it cures it on switch, making it a very good, actually, bulky mon. You could run Rest and then switch, and it heals. Seed Flare, Earth Power, Psychic, Synthesis, and Rest type of thing. Life Orbing, very good. It's a Scarf Abuser at times. If you really wanted to make it bulky, you could go with a Sub Seed Leftover set. Yeah, I think it pairs very nicely with Bikini, it pairs very nicely with Terrakion, it pairs very nicely with Run and Wash. Very good Firewater Grass core here. Especially bulky Pokemon can be an issue for this, but Bikini can run through those on the physical side. Steel types, Bikini can handle Steel types pretty well. Flying types, Terrakion and Bikini and Rotom handle those very well. Fire types, again, Run and Wash handles this. This team, I don't really see a lot of weaknesses right now. It's built pretty decently. This thing does get Healing Wish as well, so it can Suicide off and heal the incoming mon. If for some reason Victini or Terrakion gets worn down, it can Suicide and feed them its life force, basically. Charizards, Tapu Fini. Alright, so now you got your Fairy Steel Dragon core in either Charizard Fini Scizor or in Garchomp Scizor Fini. Both cores are very, very potent. Tapu Fini is an annoyingly defensive mon. There's some defense that this team was sorely lacking up until this point. Tapu Fini sets up Misty Surge, which I believe is the one that prevents statusing, so you don't have to worry about statuses from I don't believe you have to worry about that. It does weaken Dragon type moves, so it helps Garchomp and Zard. However, it also hurts Garchomp and Zard because they can't fire off super effective Dragon type moves. They get weakened there. But Fini does act as a decent defensive check, decent defensive assist. It does have 130 SPDF and 115 defense, making it very defensive. It is a defogger, so that helps Charizard as well. Takes pressure off Scizor, having the defog, and it can just hit like a truck. Electric types are very, very good against this thing. Garchomp doesn't care about electric types. Grass types get this. Zard and Scizor don't care about that. Actually, like, one of the best counters to Tapu Fini is like Thunder Punch making Zard. So it's great to see those two on the same team. I like this pick. It may not make sense because of the dual dragons from a terrain standpoint, but to me, it makes sense. And there are all of the Tapu gone now. I took. Yes, I just said that, Shadow. It's terrible synergy. I know it's not great, but it's not the worst case scenario. Mandibuzz. So Rye is going to be a little salty about this Mandibuzz pick because I have it again. Again, go check out the video from when Rye and I played in FWL. Mandibuzz, I learned to love Mandibuzz as a defensive mon. I hate playing defensive, but I learned to love it as a defensive mon through FWL. This thing has decent coverage. It's super, super bulky if need be, like Rocky Helmet max defense, max HP. Very, very good on this thing. It can Roost, recover, has defog, so it takes pressure off Blastoise having to be the only Rapid Spinner. It does not appreciate rocks, though, but it does allow me to defog them away. It is not grounded, so I don't have to worry about T-Spikes and Spikes, which Blastoise does not appreciate. I can get rid of those with Mandibuzz. Foul Play is a pretty good move. It does have pivoting and U-turns, and I have Zeraora and Mandibuzz that can pivot around. And it has Overcoat, which I think is great because it pairs nicely with Alolan Ninetales. That Overcoat ability doesn't take hail damage. So I don't have to worry as much about residual from hail and rocks, and then have to Roost instead of being able to defog. Egyptian Lucario with Darmanitan. Good God, this team is offensive. Like, this is my type of team, offensive team. Darmanitan just really takes care of that ice weakness that Lando has. Sheer Force Life Orb, that's really all you need to know about it. Choice Banded does great. Has a great move pool. Can you turn out to switch? Just absolutely blows stuff back. A lot of things die to a Sheer Force Life Orb. Darmanitan, plus if Darmanitan gets set up, it can just go to town. Very good mon, very offensive. I don't know why Darm is so strong. And yeah, Scarf, thank you for reminding me about that. Acorn, Scarf Darm can just really blow things back as well. OKC Thunderous, Arcanine. Here is your priority, and I have no idea what Arcanine does. I know it hasn't, but Arcanine is one of those mons. I don't know what it does. Flash Fire, Justified. Base 95 speed, 110 attack, nothing really like, screaming out there. Even Smogon doesn't like it. I mean, it can drop Willows, it has Recovery in Morning Sun, Flare Blitz, Flamethrower, but I don't know what this thing does. I don't know how it fits into its team. Or fits into the team, so... I guess it takes the Fire-type moves that Skarmory doesn't like, but Manler does that already. It takes knockoffs, I guess. It intimidates, which helps physical walls stay up a little longer. I don't know. Arcanine's not one of those mons I know a lot about. Meganadel's Superior. Superior, on the other hand, Superior actually is a very good mon. It can set up pretty easily with Contrary Leaf Storms. Contrary Leaf Storms under specs just run through a lot of things. Okay, Flare Blitz, Wild Charge, E-Speed, Banded, Bulky for Fire type. Okay. See, again, I've never used Arcanine. I don't know what Arcanine can do. But I guess there are some good versatility to it. Anyways, going into Superior, 113 speed is very good. Yes, it's lacking special attack and attackable space 75 is not extremely powerful, but spamming Leaf Storm and receiving the special attack boost is great. Running a lefty set where you have a hidden power getting boosted by Leaf Storms. You can set it with Substitute. It can Glare. It's a very good Scarf abuser. Scarf Contrary Leaf Storm can run through things. It is a defogger, so Absol doesn't have to worry completely about having to come every week just to stop rocks. Zapdos doesn't have to carry defog. It can Glare to slow things down. It does have access to Dragon Pulse, so if you get boosted Dragon Pulses, that can start to run through Dragon types. Steel types kind of still run through this thing though. But once this thing gets set up, boost after boost after boost from Contrary Leaf Storms, it will be a nightmare to deal with. Wingulls taking Nihilego, dies to EQ. Nihilego is good. It can the grounded poison type, so T-Spikes can get out of the way. It is a very good Z user. Nihilego, I don't know a lot about you. I know Beast Boostin', very good. It's got 131 Spadef. Okay, Shadow, if you're thinking on the Stall Tactics, Subseed Glare set is a good set too. 127 on the special attack is great. Can set both T-Spikes and Sludge Wave, has access to Thunder and Thunderbolt type of thing. It's a good Life Orb user. Good Scarf user. Good coverage. Steel types can beat this thing. Crocodile doesn't care about steel types. Ground types can kind of deal with this thing. Torn Eye can deal with that. Special walls are an issue, and physical attackers are as well. But all in all, Nihilego can be a very powerful breaker if need be. Austin Absol's Raikou. So Latios is really going to help here because this is another EQ weak mon. Raikou does have the ability to set up pretty easily with Calm Mind. It is a very good, fast electric dog. Base 115 speed, 115 special attack. Pressure is its ability, as I covered before. It is a good Z abuser. Calm Mind, Thunderbolt, Hidden Power, Shadow Ball type of thing is all you need. It can set up and run pretty quickly through teams. It does have access to Aura Sphere if you have the special event shiny one. So that can help deal with things. This was a snipe reroute. I never considered this, but on my team, but it is a decent mod. White Forest Weedles, there's Heatran. So again, Gliscor and Latios are really Z Sunny Day, yeah. Tier 2 Raikou is a very good mod. Heatran here again, Gliscor and Latios really coming in to save Toxapex and Heatran from those EQ spams. Heatran is just such a powerful mod. It's a good, reliable rock setter. Specs abuser, Life Orb abuser, Flash Fire so it eats fire type hits. Days, 130 special attack. Good special defense and physical defense at 106. A little on the slow side is what it is. Fire Z is a good thing. It can Toxic, Stealth Rock. It has access to Earth Power, Stab Steel type. It does have a lot of bulk. You can run Assault Vest and Lefties. Steelium Z. It is a bulky boy. Water types kind of hurt this thing, but Toxapex doesn't care. Ground I've already covered about. Knockoff isn't great, but Latios can take those knockoffs semi-okay. And fighting types, again, Latios kind of handles those as well. Oh, come on. Really? There we go. Reveries, Zoroark. Zoroark is a very nasty mon to deal with because it can disguise itself as anything. And then you don't know what it is, you try to send something in to beat it. Zoroark has coverage out the wazoo. Yes, it is frail. It is fast, it is frail. But it can easily set up nasty plots. Say Zoroark comes in disguised as Gothitelle, you go into a dark type or a bug type. Bug type would get this thing, but you go into a dark type to try and get the Gothitelle, and it gets a free nasty plot off, and then it starts running through your team. Scarf Zeraora is also very good, or Zoroark. 105 speed, 120 special attack. You give that thing boost, it does very good. Decent fighting, or not decent fighting, decent Z Crystal abuser, but definitely nasty plot. Zoroark will run through some teams. Florges. There's some bulk that was needed for this team. Florges handles the fighting type weakness very nicely. Jirachi pairs with this very well because it deals with the poison typing. Florges has Defog, which is very nice. For Weavile, 154 Spadef, 112 special attack. This thing is just a nightmare, especially with the fact that it has recovery and synthesis. It can heal belt. Sorry about that. Poison types and steel types kind of run through this, but again, Jirachi handles those pretty well. On the physical side, though, it is a little weak. But this thing is great for recovery, sitting as a wall type of thing, passing around heals in case things get toxic or T-waved or something, burned on the Weavile. This is a very good cleric, very good wall for the Primarinas. Empoleon, the best defogger in the game for the Blazikins. Again, Volcanion does not appreciate the rocks being up or spikes, Empoleon can deal with those. Empoleon's good at phasing things out. With Roar, it can set up its own rocks, it can defog away rocks, it can fire off flash cannons, Scalds for burns. Tangrowth handles the ground type attacks for it pretty well. Grass types, Volcanion takes care of. Electric types, Zygarde takes care of. So it's a very nice hazard control for this team. A little bit slow, but fits pretty well with gives them a good start to their Dragon Steel core with a defensive Mon. Finishes off the Fire, Water, Grass core. In case Empoleon doesn't want to come, or not Empoleon, Volcanion doesn't want to come, we have Empoleon in the rear. Just a very good Mon. Fits pretty nicely with what this team was needing. P2 to the Boston Celesteelas. Hello stall, hello defensive wall. That this team was sorely needing. Also can run very offensive if it's download. P2. Good coverage, Z-move abuser. Good wall, and the fact that it can recover and toxic stall out if it needs to. Yeah, it gives them a defensive Mon that they kind of needed with having 3 offensive powerhouses in Lando T, Greninja, and Latios. Cloisters, hello big boy, there's Snorlax. So now the Cloisters are trying to build themselves a very defensive, what am I trying to think here? Now they're trying to build themselves a very defensive stally team. Curslax with Amoonguss support and Suicune support. This thing can be a nightmare. It has decent coverage, thick fat ability, Gluttony for Curse Recycle. Curslax, this thing just is a wall as far as the defense goes. Once it starts getting set up, it's really hard to take down. And it's going to be a nightmare for people to try and break, especially having to break through that Amoonguss and Suicune. That's a very fat set of Mons right there. Reshiram, speaking of fat Mons, there is Vaporeon, the original Wish Fish. Vaporeon is nice in being able to pass wishes along. Scald Burns, it has Heal Bell to stop statuses. It can sit there and stall with Toxic and Wish. Water Absorb as well, so it can heal off the water type moves. All in all, Wish Fish, very nice Mon. Very, very passive Mon, though, so it makes it easy for setup fodder at times. But very good Mon. Fits pretty nicely with this team, being able to heal both Coco and Latios up if need be. And the Gliscor is taking Nidoking. I hate this thing. Bane of my existence right now. Nidoking is just annoying as all hell. Sheer Force Nidoking with a Life Orb. Destroys. Good coverage. Decent speed at, I believe it's 85 for Nidoking. Or maybe it's 85, yeah. 102 attack. That Sheer Force Life Orb is just really good if you need to for this Stally team. Poison Point. To get extra poisons off. Hydreigon helps with the Earthquake weakness. Celesteela takes the Psychics okay. But yeah, Sheer Force Life Orb, about all you need here on Nidoking. And that's going to end round 4. So to recap, we had Shaman to the Go-Goats, Tapu Fini to the Charizards, Mandibuzz to the Bearticks, Darmanitan to the Lucarios, Arcanine to the Thunderuses, Servine to the Naganadels, Raikou to the Absols, Nihilego to the Wingulls, Heatran to the Weedles, Zoroark to the Brivaries, Florges to the Primarinas, Empoleon to the Blazikins, Porygon 2 to the Celesteelas, Curslax, not Munchlax, Snorlax to the Cloisters, Vaporeon to the Reshirams, and Nidoking to the Gliscors. As far as picks go, Nidoking I like, it's a good offensive threat. Florges I like because it gives defense that team was sorely missing. Heatran, very nice pair of the Fairy Steel Dragon Core. or not Fairy Steel, Dragon Core, very nice bulk to that team as well. Tapu Fini, so-so. Shaman, probably the best pick of this round, just filling out exactly what that team needed. Next pick, Jolteon for the Gliscors. So on their wheel, they pick up Jolteon. Jolteon is one of my favorite mons. Very fast Volt Absorber, can run Tangled Feet, Flame Orb type of thing. Great coverage. It's a very good Specs abuser as well, just like Hydreigon. Gets protected by Hydreigon and Celesteela. This thing protects Celesteela very nicely, as does Nidoking, because this thing can just heal off of Electric-type attacks that want to come after the Celesteela. Good coverage with HPs. It does have access to Signal Beam, Heal Bell. It can Wish Pass if it wants, but it's not ideal of a Wish Passer. But Specs Jolteon is a big threat. Reshiram's taking Bronzong. So this was another snipe. After Ferrothorn went down, I was looking at Bronzong because I needed a Steel type still, and Bronzong being Levitator, it's a rocker, rapid spins. All in all, it's a really annoying mon. I don't understand this pick for the Reshiram though. Why do you need both Ferrothorn and Bronzong? That pick just didn't really make sense to me. Plus you have Latios as well, so just, I don't know. Wasn't my favorite pick. I don't really understand it. There we go. Cloyster is taking Kyurem, standard Kyurem. Dragon Ice type. This thing can also be bulky with its Roost, Sub-Roost Toxic set. Very good Specs abuser. Not as fast as Kyurem Black, not as good as Kyurem Black, but for what was needed, giving you a Dragon and an Ice type, very good mon. Now you're starting to get some getting some offensive pressure while having another bulky mon to sit on that team with Suicune, Amoonguss, and Snorlax. Celesteela is Klefki, another Prankster user. Prankster Defog, Prankster T-Wave, Prankster Spikes, Prankster, I think this thing gets Rocks, if I remember correctly. This thing doesn't get Defog. Right, that was wrong, it doesn't get Defog, right? Klefki. But Spikes, T-Wave, Toxics, for sure get up there. It does get Defog, yeah. This thing is just great utility. It's great speed control. It can throw off Toxics, throw off multiple layers. It's guaranteed to get at least one layer of Spikes off, or guaranteed to get a Defog off if need be. Just with that Prankster ability. I hate Prankster. We've talked about this. Gives you your Fairy Steel type all in one. So now you have Fairy Steel and Dragon on 2 mons. Pretty good right there for that core. Yeah, decent mon. Blaziken's Ditto. I don't like Ditto. I hate Ditto. You only really run one thing, and that's Scarf Imposter. And then you're not even faster than some of your opponents sometimes, especially if they're a Scarfer. Yes, it's good to get intel. It's good to know what your opponent's sets are, but it's not really that great of a mon in my mind. But there you go. There's Scarf Ditto for you. Primarina's taking Roserade. So here is your T-Spikes setter, your T-Spikes absorber. Also can set standard spikes. Technician boosting is great. Decent recovery. Technician boosted HPs is really nice. Yeah, it's a decent mon. Brings a little more synergy. Gives you more hazards to help your team out for it. Shadow, okay, Ditto can be good. I don't think it is. That's just my thought on it. For Fairies, hey, there's Nidoqueen. Nidoqueen is every bit as good as Nidoking. Another grounded toxic type, so you can absorb the T-Spikes. Has Sheer Force Life Orb as well, just not as physically offensive as Nidoking. It's a great offensive like Stealth Rock, Setter, and Wall Breaker. Basically does everything that Nidoking does, just a little worse. But yeah, good mon. Weedle's Heliolisk. I don't really see how Heliolisk fits on this team, to be perfectly honest. I know Specs Heliolisk. No sweeper sets for Doe. Yeah. Heliolisk I know is fast, and I know it's good special attack. It's a Specs Abuser. Pretty good Specs Abuser. Life Orb Specs Abuser. Volt Switch Pivot. Has access to Surf, Hyper Voice to go through subs, Thunderbolt, Dark Pulse. It does not like priority. Adding the normal type to it also makes it weak to fighting types, but decent mon, decent coverage. Don't see how it really fits on this team other than absorbing electric type hits a little bit, but Gliscor already does that. Speaking of ground types, Austin Absol's grabbing Hippowdon, so T-Tar's gone, here's the other Sand Setter. This doesn't make sense to me with Bulu, because Bulu sets up grassy terrain, and this thing can't fire off earthquakes as well. But this thing does have the ability to basically sit and wall a lot of things with Slack Off, as recovery, gets the Spadef boot. No, it doesn't because it's not rock type. But sets up sand, can drop Toxics, can put things to sleep with Yawn. Let's see here. Hippowdon. Does have access to Sand Force, so it can abuse the Sand Team if it doesn't want to bring Sandstream. Really good bulk to it with its 108 HP, 118 defense. Leftover is good Stealth Rock Setter. Does have access to Whirlwind to move things around. Does absorb EQ a little bit, but again, not really sure how well it sits with this team with Tapu Bulu. Wingle's Jellicent, water absorbing Curse Body. About all I know about this thing. Jellicent, water absorb Curse Body. Decent Spadef, decent HP. Choice Specs Abuser as a wall breaker. With a trick set, it can be a utility set with like Willows. Hex Willow is a pretty decent combo. Can be very defensive if need be. Gives them a water type which they needed for Nihilego and Crocodile. Crocodile covers the electric weaknesses. Nihilego and Torn kind of cover the grass weaknesses. Decent bulky water type. The Ganadil's Cobalion. I've used Cobalion before. I don't really care for it. I mean, it can set up with Swords Dance, Rock Polish, can run physical or special, steel fighting type. Gives them another toxic immunity, or gives them a toxic immunity that they sorely needed. Can deal with T-Spikes being out on the field, not care too much. But it can be a potent setup sweeper. I just never could get it to work as a potent setup sweeper for me. But yeah, decent mon. It does have Justified, so it helps with those knockoffs. He now has 2 mons with Justified in base Absol and Cobalion, so have to be very, very careful with your knockoffs, otherwise you're going to power these things up. Thundurus, bringing in Thick Zarina. Again, now this is looking more like Stall again. You have Zarina, Clefable, and Skarmory. This thing is a Rapid Spinner user. Can be a pretty good banded user with High Jump Kick or Power Whip. Does have control of attack stat with Trop Kick, being able to drop physical attackers, so that pairs nicely with Arcanine. And has Queenly Majesty as its other, or as one of its, I think its main ability, which stops priority. So it's a good way to stop priority. And fire types can't really fire off fire type moves because of Arcanine. So yeah, there's that. Egyptian Lucario is Decidueye. Decidueye I know is on the slower side, but most of the Gen 7 starters are. Grass Ghost type is a very good typing. Overgrowth boost, 100 special attack, 107 regular attack, 110 Spadef. Pretty decent spread on the Spadef. It's a wall breaker thanks to like Swords Dance. If you want to run its signature Z move, that can break pretty easily. Has priority in Shadow Sneak. Can set up a subset. Can trap things with Spirit Shackle and then set up on them and wear them down. It is a defogger that is not weak to rocks, being as it doesn't have the fighting type or flying type. It is a U-turner, so it can pivot out. It does have Sucker Punch. And takes those water hits for Darmanitan, Titar, and Landorus that do not appreciate them. Savali for myself and the Veritex. Savali is one of those mons that I really wanted to try out. I finally got a chance to do it here. I have access to any type of Savali I want. Very versatile move pool, able to pivot out with Parting Shot, which really forces your opponent to switch, so you can kind of get free setup with another mon. It is a defog user, so again, Mandibuzz, Blastoise don't have to worry about that. Savali Steel can defog away T-Spikes. All in all, not a terrible mon, not a great mon, but it does work. It does work very well. It basically allows you to build whatever type of version of it you need, whatever typing it needs. Rotom Mow for the Charizard. So there is your Levitator that can defog. This thing sponges water hits pretty decently, as does Tapu Fini. For base Charizard, defogger, Leaf Storms can be fired off. It does basically the same thing that Rotom Wash does, except it's Rotom Cut instead, so it doesn't have Hydro Pump, it has Leaf Storm instead. But again, does a lot of the same stuff. And finishing off the round, we have another Wish Passer in Umbreon. This thing is fat beyond fat. Allows you to Wish Pass, you can Toxic Stall with things, Taunt, User. Fits pretty well in being able to heal things up. And it is just a wall of a wall. Very fat dog. Synchronized to pass those statuses back if it tries to get status. It does have Heal Bell, which every evolution gets. You can Wish Protect. Fighting types kind of run through it. Victini kind of handles those bug types, can go through it. Victini and Terrakion both deal with those. Fairy types are not friendly to it. Not much right now to deal with fairy types, but it is a very good mon and puts in work. What round are we on? 5. So recapping round 5, we had evolutions cap in the round. Jolteon to the Gliscors, Bronzong to the Reshurams, Kyurem to the Cloisters, Klefki to the Celesteelas, Ditto to the Blazikins, Roserade to the Primarinas, Nidoqueen to the Brivaries, Heliolisk to the Weedles, Absols pick up Hippowdon, Wingles pick up Jellicent, Cavalion to the Naganadels, Trop kicking Zarina to the Thunderous, Lucarius pick up Decidueye, Beartix takes Savali, Charizards get Rotom Cut, and the Umbreon goes to the Go-Goats. Go-Goats coming around on the other side, Slurpuff. Slurpuff is a mon that I've used in the past. I like it. It's a good fairy type. There's your Fairy Resist for Umbreon. Sets up Sticky Webs. Belly Drum set with Unnerve is just very good. This thing is a very, very good setup sweeper. Yeah, it can be a very scary setup sweeper in the right conditions. Plus, those sticky webs help Victini, because if Victini's firing off, God, what's this? B creates, those sticky webs help keep Victini faster. Also, just really good on speed control. Slurpuff is a very good mon, very good fairy type, fits very nicely. Paired with Umbreon here, it is another Wish user, I think, if I remember correctly. Slurpuff, I believe, has Wish support, but I don't remember 100%. It does have Recovery and Drain Punch, so after it pops its berry, it can +6 Drain. It does have Wish support. It can +6 Drain Punch you to death as well. So, and then keep recovering. It's a very scary setup on in the right position. Charizard's taking Arrow. Arrow is fast, hits hard, pressure as well. Rock Head, so it doesn't take recoil damage. Base 130 speed, 105 attack. Has good coverage in all the elemental fangs. It can be a Pursuit Trapper, Recovery, and Roost. Stealth Rock Setter, Stealth Rock Remover. Yeah, it does a lot of work on its own. Beartic Chandelure. Yes, I have Chandelure again. It's been a while since I had Chandelure. I love Chandelure. It's a great mon, great Specs abuser, great Z Crystal user, great Expert Belt user. Very, very versatile move pool. Has access to Dark Ball, Psychic, Energy Ball, Flamethrower, Shadow Ball, all the hidden powers. And I could Z Memento with it and heal whatever I need to bring in. Does not appreciate rocks, but we've got those covered pretty well. Can drop Will-O-Wisps. Yeah, just a good mon, good offensive mon. Can be run bulky. Looking forward to using it and seeing how it plays out. Quillfish for the Lucarios. I have no idea what Quillfish does. I know it's a T-Spike setter, and I believe a T-Spike remover. Oh yeah, it's spelled with a W. Quillfish. Quillfish, it does Intimidate. It has Swift Swim, Poison Point for poisoning. Looks like it's more of a defensive thing with being able to Scald, set up T-Spikes. It does have regular spikes, so it's a good hazard setter. Destiny Bond to try and take your opponent down with you. Gives a water type that this team needed to take water hits, ice hits for Lando, and Decidueye outside of Darm. Does not appreciate Earthquake, though. But yeah, decent one. Mienshao, high jump kick, super fast, super offensive, good Scarfer, good Bander, has both Reckless and Regenerator. Regenerator good for defensive, Reckless good for boosting power of things like high jump kick. Choice Banded Reckless high jump kick just blows through a lot of teams. It does have access to U-turn, so it can pivot out. Poison Jab, Knock Off, Stone Edge. Gives this team a nice offensive threat. It doesn't like fairy types. Clefable kind of handles those. Yeah, it fits nicely. It's good offense for the Clefable Skarmory. Zarina's even defensive with an Assault Vest type of thing. It can put in some work. Mimikyu for the Megan build. Mimikyu, you're guaranteed setup, as long as you bring it in clean. You're guaranteed a Swords Dance. It has priority and Shadow Sneak. Good Z-move abuser. Decent coverage. It's a little on the slow side for what my liking. If this thing was just slightly faster. It's base 96, but if you get this thing to like base 105 or something, it'd be even better. That Disguise is very nice. 105 speed death, 90 attack. Life Orbing, very good. Putting a Ghost Z on this thing. Steel types can blow this thing back, but Volcarona, Crebalion handle those pretty well. Lando T and Intimidate users get this thing pretty hard though. But Mimikyu is a nice Ghost Fairy type. I would love to try it out sometime. Wingulls, Lucario, another justified mon coming off the board. Lucario is very, very good from a physical standpoint. Can be run special. Very good setup with Swords Dance. Has priority. I'm trying to think what else this thing does. 115 attack, special attack, 110 regular attack, so it can run both physical special. Has decent move pool to do that. Close combating off of the Swords Dance is very good. Can set up an agility if need to. Does have things like Bone Rush and Blaze Kick, coverage. Has access to Dragon Pulse if you want to run on the special side. Can Final Gambit to get out of there. Really weaken your opponent if need be. Poison Jab, Power Up Punch sets. A lot of versatility. Has Zen Headbutt as well to check fighting types that want to come in and try and hit it. Just adds another offensive pressure. Pretty good choice band user as well. Mantine, here's your Earthquake immunity for this team that they've been sorely missing. Gives them their water type. Defog user. Mantine, again, is one of those that I really know a lot about. We're starting to enter that point in the draft where we're getting into the mons that I know. It is a water absorber, so it can take water hits for Infernape and Powdon. Swift Swim in the rain, 140 def, so it's just a Spadef hit. Acorn, why can't you donate bits? I am not affiliated. I need to get to 50 followers in order to be affiliate status, plus a few other things, which I'm not going to reach anytime soon. But you can always drop a follow and help me get to those 50, so once that 50 follower requirement is complete, then I just have to get their streaming regularly. So that's why I am not, you're not able to send bits to me. Okay, so Roost, Scald, Toxic Haze. This is basically just a defensive wall for this team. Swallow for the Weedles. Swallow is a very nice offensive breaker. That Flame Orb Gust Facade, or not Guts, not Gus. Okay, thank you for following. I'm not getting any notifications because I don't have Twitch open anymore, so I do appreciate that. Anybody that has followed, I do appreciate the follows. Really means a lot. Really helps me get to that 50 follower so I can get to the affiliate role and we can get some emotes in here. Swallow with Guts Facade, Guts boosted quick attack. It's a nightmare. It's a great wall breaker. Fits really nicely with this team as a effective wall breaker. Miltank. Alright, we're rolling out now. Miltank with Scrappy is really good. This thing has milk drink, so it can survive a long time. Good defenses. Rye is bringing Whitney into this league. Thank you, Rye, for following. Again, I appreciate all the follows, guys. I don't have my Twitch open, so I can't see. My phone is on silent, so it's not going off. But I see Clem followed. I have 6 email notifications. I'm guessing that's follows. We're going to take a look at those real quick just so I can see what all we got. Rye, thank you for following. Clem, thank you for following. Johnny Bot Pokemon 2018, thank you for following. Darkion, thank you for following. Wolf Trap Soko, thank you for following. Acorn, thank you for following. Okay, so I picked up 6. Thank you, guys. That's huge. Acorn, I'm not going to get to affiliate until probably February at this point. So I appreciate getting to 50 followers because that's one less thing I have to do. But right now, with me being gone for 3 weeks in December, I'm not going to be able to stream any of those times. So I'm not going to be able to get to affiliate that fast. Thank you, Shadow, for following. Wow, I'll talk about it at the end of the draft stream. I'm really speechless about you guys helping me. Miltank, great defense, 100 speed, so it's the same speed as Mew. That's funny. Sap Sipper, good ability, absorb those grass-type hits. Thick Fat to absorb fire and ice-type hits. Scrappy to hit ghost types. Good mon. Rye, you better not bring Whitney's Miltank, or I'm going to be really, really upset with you, because Whitney's Miltank was the bane of my existence as a child. And there's Gligar. Gligar is discount Gliscor. Not really much to talk about, but it does give them an Earthquake immunity, which Jirachi sorely, sorely needed. Roserade doesn't appreciate Earthquakes either. This thing is just as annoying. It gets Eviolite, whereas Gliscor doesn't, so this thing just can become a defensive wall and a nightmare as well. Rye, we rolling out? Yeah, I'm sure you're gonna be rolling out. Drink. Perks of having a giant water container in your room. No drink. Clem, I think they're both just as thick. Blaziken's Rabombi. Oh god, here's another setup sweeper. Quiver Dance Rabombi is just nightmarish. It is a sticky web user, so you can slow things down, which would be helpful for Zygarde. Zygarde's pretty decent on the speed, but it does not get to blazing speed. So having Rabombi throw down some sticky webs is great. It is frail to rocks, though. But yeah, it can be a pretty good setup sweeper. Okay, Cofagrigus. I hate this mon. I hate Cofagrigus. It is the bane of my existence some days. It's a very defensive mon, very good Trick Room setter, and it can sweep under Trick Room. Yeah, I do know that Defense Curl rollout is a thing. That's why it's always a scary thing. I do remember that as a child because I always wondered why did Defense Curl and then rollout make it so much stronger. I looked it up. That's why. That's a good strat. This thing single-handedly 5-0'd me in WWC with Trick Room. All because I forgot to link my Escavalier link speed, but still it Trick Roomed and swept me. Very good defensive mon. The ability Mummy makes it so if you contact it, you lose your ability. It's a great way to destroy abilities in neuter teams, and it's just so freaking bulky. And it can set up with Nasty Plot and sweep you under Trick Room. Very good mon. I think it fits very nicely. Gives them a nice spin blocker and a nice knockoff of user, because if something wants to knock off and take the Mummy ability, it can. Escavalier. Speaking of Escavalier, Cloyster's taking Escavalier. I love Escavalier. It is one of my favorite mons to use in Draft League format. Yes, it's slow, but it hits like a truck. Put a choice band on this thing and let it go to town. Yes, it dies to HP Fire or any Fire-type move. However, you have Suicune to handle those. Escavalier can put some major work in. It's a nice Steel type. Very good Bug type. Choice banded Escavalier all the way. Reshrams, Doug Trio, Fast Trapper, basically. Fast Trapper, hits hard, but very, very fast Trapper. Doug Trio, yeah, 120 speed, 100 attack, very good ground abuser, can Memento, can Toxic, Sub, Earthquake. Very good mon for trapping. Finally, we have Seismitoad. This thing is also very annoying. It does get Swift Swim, so in rain it's pretty good. It does have Water Absorb. I believe it's also bulky as well. Semi-bulky. Poison Touch. So contact moves have a chance to poison. I love Poison Touch as an ability. Just go look at my APA matches with Pursuit trapping Alolan Muck getting poisons. I love when that happens. Good Stealth Rock sitter. Decent move pool. Can be very defensive. Toxic user. Grass types kind of run through it. However, Venusaur laughs at those, as the Celesteela Ice types can get to it. Pretty good. Wall Breakers can break through this, but it's a good mon. Fits pretty well. Gives them a nice water. Gives them another Earthquake user. stealth rock setter, so like Neo King doesn't have to carry rocks. So for that round, we have Slurpuff to the Go-Goats, Arrow to the Charizard, Shandy to the Bearticks, Quillfish to the Lucarios, Minshao to the Thunderuses. Wow, I'm really blanking. Mimikyu to the Meganodels, Lucario to the Wingulls, Mantine to the Absols, Swellow to the Weedles, Miltank to the Braveries, Gligar to the Primarinas, Ribombee to the Blazikins, Cofagrigus to the Celesteelas, Escavalier to the Cloysters, Dugtrio to the Reshurams, and Seismitoad to the Gliscors. Gliscor's coming back around with Miss Magius. Miss Magius is a very scary offensive threat. It can nasty plot set up on you very quickly, decent coverage, and can punch holes through teams very, very quickly. Those have Levitate, so it gives another ground immunity across the board. 105 special attack, special defense, and speed make it decently fast and decently bulky. But yeah, you could drop Will-O-Wisp, Nasty Plot, Taunt, Shadow Ball. Hex Will-O-Wisp is always a good set. You gotta watch Pursuit Trapping though. Roxy on this thing from Power Gem. Pursuit Trap though is a very, very scary thing for this thing, but it does get D-Gleam, so it can scare out those dark types pretty easily too. Once it sets up Nasty Plot, D-Gleam can run through some dark types. Reshiram's Hitmonlee, the best of the Hitmons in my opinion. I don't care for Hitmontop, it's kind of got a useless move pool. Intimidate's nice. Hitmonchan with Iron Fist is pretty good, but I will take Hitmonlee any day. Hitmonlee with the Reckless for high jump kick. It does have it has Blaze Kick, Limber, so it can't be paralyzed, which is kind of nice. It can come in on T-Waivers and take that. I've used Hitmonlee before. Unburdened Hitmonlee. Okay, so Electric Seed Unburdened Hitmonlee with Tapu Koko. Pretty big. Double your speed, hit like a truck, and boost your defense up one stage with that Electric Seed defense, since its defense is so lacking, physically defensive. It really does run through teams pretty easily with that terrain boost and unburden. So expect this thing to pair nice. I expect this thing to pair very nicely with Koko, and it does have Rapid Spin, so it's a good hazard controller as well. Cloysters Mega Sharpedo. I can't remember. Shadow, please tell me in the chat. Do you have to Mega turn 1 or not? I don't remember if this league was a turn 1 Mega or not. If it's not turn 1 Mega, Mega Sharpedo is huge because it gets a free speed boost and then can go to town. Otherwise, it is very good with Strong Jaw boosting, boosting its physical attacks, Crunch, and Psychic Fang. As priority in Aqua Jet, can set up a Swords Dance. It does technically... No, it doesn't. I forgot. That's not how Speed Boost works. Never mind. But all in all, very physical water type that Suicune doesn't provide. This thing provides. Gives you Dark Stab. Very offensive mon. Speaking of offensive mons, Manectric. So Manectric comes in, I believe this one has Intimidate. Yeah, so he has dual Intimidators in both Lando and Manectric. Can really just cycle between those two with Volt Switch and U-Turn to neuter a physical threat. It's a great special attacker, access to the HPs, flamethrower, great coverage, very, very fast. I believe it tops out at 405 because I think it speed ties Mega Lopunny. I don't remember off the top of my head. Metric. Yeah, it does speed tie with Mega Lopunny. It's a very good mon, very, very strong. electric type. It does have lightning rod before it comes in, so it can come in on an electric attack for Greninja, get the lightning rod boost, and then immediately Mega Evolve and do major damage. Fat Cat, Alolan Persian. This thing is a nuisance in the fact that it is super, super fat. It does have Technician boosting. It can pivot using Parting Shot. And it's just super defensively bulky. Pairs nicely with Tangrowth because it can Parting Shot into Tangrowth for Regenerator and that sort of thing. And it's just stupidly defensive, like with that Fur Coat ability. Komao, this was another snipe. I really wanted Komao at this point in the draft, and it went down because I still needed a dragon and a fighting type. Komao is a great Z-mon, great Z abuser. Bulletproof and soundproof are good moves, or good abilities, as is Overcoat, so it doesn't take hail damage, sandstorm damage type of thing. 125 defense and 105 Spadef make this thing very, very powerful. With an Assault Vest, 100 special attack and 100 attack are also very good. Life Orb user, an abuser, D-Dance, Setup Sweeper, mixed Wall Breaker with like Clanging Scales, Close Combat, Poison Jab, Flamethrower, Stealth Rock Setter, can set up with Swords Dance. It's just a very good setup sweeper. Does not appreciate fairy type moves. Florges eats those, Jirachi eats those. I think this pairs very, very nicely with the Weavile as well because it takes those ice hits, or those fighting hits with ease for Weavile. Togekiss for the Braveries. Togekiss is a very nice Wish Passer. It's also another one of those Haxmons where it just drops T-Waves and then Paraflinches you to death with Air Slash and Serene Grace. Can be incredibly defensively bulky, defog user, Wish Passer, as I said. All in all, just a very, very good Mon, and will help as a very good support Mon for this team. Avalugg, I have no idea what this thing does other than the fact that it's super defensive and it has rapid spin. It's sturdy, 184 defense. Its special defense is absolute trash, though. 117 attack hits pretty hard. It can be a very good physical wall, dropping Toxics, having Avalanche to double the power after it gets hit since it's so slow, recovering. But other than that, it is very, very light in the special attack department. Alolan Muck. I love this thing. Great Mon. Yes, it's on the slower end. Tapu Bulu really helps this thing not get killed by EQ. This thing takes the poison hits for Tapu Bulu. Cursing Muck is a great thing with Gluttony. Poison Touch Pursuit Trapping Muck is a great thing. I love Alolan Muck. It was a very, very good Mon. I kind of wish this thing had made it back to me because I would have loved to have taken it. It's a very good Mon, and I love it, and I think Austin's going to be able to put in some work with Alolan Muck. Rotom Heat, as I said with all the other Rotoms, it does everything that the other Rotoms does, except it has Overheat instead of the other signature move. Defogger, Levitator, yeah, that sort of thing. Not really much to say about the Rotoms. Weezing, T-Spike setter. It's not a grounded poison type, though, so you can still have T-Spike set against you. That is the biggest thing with Weezing. It is a levitate user. Gets abused by, or doesn't stop the T-Spikes is the thing. See you later, Tez. Thanks for tuning in. Like I said, this will be going up on YouTube, so you can fast forward and catch in to wherever you need to. I am currently recording this for YouTube, so thanks for tuning in. Thanks for being here. Really appreciate it. Yeah, that's easy. Gastrodon. Gaffrey, as Petty Trills likes to call it. Gastrodon is stupidly bulky. At times, I had so much trouble breaking a Gastrodon before. Sticky Hold, so its item doesn't get taken away. Storm Drain, so it takes water type hits. Sand Force, making it very good in sand if it needs to be. But yeah, it can recover Toxic Stall on you. It can Scald, it can EQ. It's just a really nightmarish thing. Grass types kind of run through it, but Zarina, Arcanine, Mammo, and Skarmory don't really care about those. Because it's so passive, though, it can get set up on. However, Clefable doesn't care about setup if it's unaware. So, yeah, Gastrodon, pretty good mod for this team. Excadrill, hey, there's our Sand Sweeper. Not really much to cover with Excadrill. Excadrill does have Mold Breaker, though, besides having Sand Rush and Sand Force. It does have Mold Breaker, so it helps deal with those Rotoms and any other levitating users. It breaks them down. With this thing, paired with T-Tar, paired with Landorus, like, this is a Sand team all the way now. And this is probably going to be very difficult to break. Unless you can break through T-Tar Sand. Weak to Fighting type. Decidueye comes in and eats that. Weak to Water type. Quillfish can handle that. Weak to Ground type. Or neutral to Ground type, I guess. Again, Decidueye handles that, Landorus handles that. This thing pairs very, very nicely with the rest of his Sand team. This is going to be a very good Sand team to me. Tyrantrum, so I lost out on Kommo-o. I decided to grab Tyrantrum. I now have a Rock Setter. Even though this is not great to have a Rock Setter. Choice Banded team. Tyrantrum is very good, especially behind Veil. D-Dancing Tyrantrum behind Veil is very good. Head smashing my way through it with Rock Head Life Orb is very good. This thing just blows holes through teams if they're not prepped for it, and it's something that I really wanted to try out. Drapion, Drapion I don't know a lot about, except I know it's a good T-Spike user. Those T-Spikes. It does have Sniper, which I believe is crit ratio goes up one. Sniper, is that the crit one? Yeah, crit ratio gets boosted. Battle Armor, good defensive mon, good choice band user, it's Pursuit Trapper. Can set up with Swords Dance, and decent Z user, has some coverage such as Aqua Tail and all that. And finally we have Donphan for the Go-Go's. Donphan is a great hazard control setter, self-rocker. Also very bulky, choice banded. Donphan hits like a truck. Just really motors and moves pretty good. Very decent mod. On the slow side, but that doesn't matter. It does a lot of good work for this team. It's very nicely with this team. So that's going to be it for that round. Coming back into the next round, we have Cryogonal, a very fast, rapid spinner. Good Specs user, Freeze Drive user, something else with Cryogonal, I can't remember off the top of my head. Cryogonal Levitate, so it can't be hit by ground type moves, so it's another one of those with Rotom. 135 spin depth, very good. Like a Nevermelt offensive spinner set. Stealth Rocks do wear it down though. It is able to get Pursuit trapped pretty bad at times too. But it is a fast offensive mon that should fit pretty well with this team. There is Torn Eye with its Prankster ability, I believe, is what Torn Eye had as well. I think they all had Prankster, didn't they? Tornadus, yeah, it does have Prankster. Prankster and Defiant, so it can boost if it gets intimidated. Prankster to get off a free Tailwind, which would be great behind some of these mons. Just really, it's slower than its Therian form, but it's got higher attack and special attack, so it hits harder. And Tailwind makes it so that speed stat doesn't really come too much into play. Buzzwall, so I needed a fighting type. This thing has walled me too many times with defog, or not defog, with roost, leech life, bulk up sets. So I decided I'd give it a try. Interested to see how it works out. It's a defense, another defensive mod, and beast boosting could also be very, very good. And I just realized it looks like he's wearing fingerless gloves. Stoutland, another sand abuser. So this thing gets, I believe, Sand Rush as well, or it might be, yeah, it gets Sand Rush. Scrappy, Intimidate, and Sand Rush. So Intimidate, drop the attack. Scrappy, gets Ghost types. Sand Rush, and Sandstorm just makes this thing super fast. It has 110 attack. It's already got base 80 speed, which is pretty good. Choice banded in sand. This thing can just run through teams pretty decently. Pretty good wall breaker. Life orb as well. Just fits nicely with this Sandstorm team. Stun tank. Don't know what Stun tank is. Skunk. Aftermath has Defog, Sucker Punch, Pursuit Trapper, Poison Jab Crunch. Aftermath, so if it gets KO'd, however much damage you did to it to KO it, it takes back. Meloetta, Fast Mon, both form, Pirouette, and standard. Pirouette has base 128 speed, making it very fast. Standard Meloette has great special attack and Spadef. Conversely, Pirouette form has great physical attack and speed. Serene Grace, you can get your Serene Grace secondary ability boosts. Give them some speed. I'm not really sure where it fits in the team outside of that though. As far as how this team is coming together. Wingoals, Whimsicott. I hate this stupid thing. It's another prankster user. It's super, super fast, super, super annoying. Leech Seeds can base 116 speed. Leech Seed is just annoying. It does get priority switcheroo, so it can screw something over with choice specs if it wanted to. It has U-turn. It does get defog, so you get prankster defogs again. And it's just super, super fast. And you get fairy steel, or fairy stab. Steelix. Steelix is a very nice bulky steel and ground type. Does not take EQs very well though, but he's got plenty of things, including Kapabulu, to deal with that. Steelix is a good rock setter, reliable rock setter. Sturdy. Sheer Force is another ability. It's got Rockhead. 200 base defense. It's just a defensive wall. It can curse up on you. It has toxic stall. Just all sorts of different moves. Different utility for it. Heracross. Choice banded Heracross just rips through a lot of teams. Guts. Flamor boosted Heracross rips through a lot of teams. He's now got 2 Guts abusers in Heracross and Swellow. Yes, it dies to a flying type attack, but he's got Avalok to take those. He's got Heliolisk that can deal with those Gliscor. Handles this pretty well. It can also be a very nasty Moxie booster. Like Scarf Moxie boost. Just like Crocodile. That's what I'm trying to think of. Going back to Steelix, yes, you're right. Acorn, very good Rocky Helmet ability on Steelix because it's so physically defensive. Wishfish 2.0, Alomomola, and Wish, and it has Regenerator, Scald Burns. This thing is really good clerically. 165 HP just makes it super bulky. Not very good on the special side, but very good on that HP side. Rocky Helmet Abuser, Wish Protect, Toxic, Knock Off Scald. All very good moves on this thing. He now has 2 Wish Passers and both Togekiss and a Mola. So definitely good recovery setup for the entire team. Araquanid. This thing hurts if it is like Z-crystalled. Water Z liquidation hurts really bad. Sticky Web user, so it slows things down, which also helps low cutting if Jirachi doesn't want to come or has a bad matchup. Can trap things with sticky webs, or not sticky webs, spider webs. Very good abuser. Very interesting and powerful mon. I have used it before. It is incredibly defensive. Good Rocky Helmet user as well. Also has access to Mirror Coat, so you have to watch out that you don't fire off too good of a special attack hit and then get yourself blown back by Mirror Coat. Lack of recovery is a problem, though. Cresselia, the Moon Duck, Levitate user that this team really could use as well. Just stupidly defensive, Healing Wish to pass off. Can be set up pretty easily with Calm Mind's sub Calm Mind to just sit in front of things, and Toxic Stall if it needs. Just really nasty if need be as well. Here's another Hitmon top, Rapid Spin, Rock Setter, Assault Vest, Intimidator. Not my favorite of the Hitmons. I think it's the worst of them, to be honest. Hitmon top has Intimidate. It does have Technician to boost, but it's more defensive, like Rapid Spinning, Toxic, Lefties type of thing, or Assault Vest. Not great coverage, some, but not great. All in all, not that good of a mon, in my opinion. Cloyster is Machamp. Here is another Guts booster that just loves to abuse Flame Orb. It can also have no guard, so it can hit. Stone Edge is guaranteed. Granted, it gets hit by anything in return. 130 attack is just massive. It is on the slow side with 55, but a Guts Wall Breaker with Facade, Close Combat, and Knockoff, and Priority, such as Bullet Punch, really good. Drain Punch is really good. Psychic types eat this, but Escavalier kind of deals with those, as the Sharpedo. Fairy types eat this. Escavalier again deals with those, as does a Moongus. But then the speed becomes an issue for it as well. Reshiram's Kamala, Choice Band Abuser, can only be put to sleep, can't be statused. Thanks to Comatose, 115 attack is pretty nasty, good Spadef in 95. It's a rapid spinner, it's very good with an Assault Vest, it does have access to Sucker Punch, can be a powerhouse when need to be. And Diancie for the Gliscor is another bulky mon, especially if it gets off a Diamond Storm and gets its +2 defenses. Clear body, so it can't be intimidated. 150 defense and Spadef, so this is just a nightmare of a defensive mon. Does not appreciate steel type hits though, but you know, you get a Diamond Storm off, you don't really care. Stealth Rock Setter, Heal Bell, can set up with Calm Minds. Has the ability to sub-set up on you. Can be a Specs Abuser if it needs to be, but more so I see this as being a very defensive, annoying mon to fit with this very defensive, annoying team. Ambipom. I don't know what this thing does. Straight up with you guys, I don't know what Ambipom does. Ambipom, Technician, Skill Link, 115 speed, so it's really fast. Fake Out, return Knockoff with Silk Scarf, and Technician can be very abusive. Has pretty good coverage across the board. Sure, comeback. It's Sure it is. It does have U-turn, so it can pivot around. It's just, yeah, that double hit tech. Alolan Raichu, there's your sweeper with Tapu Koko. This plus Hitmonlee are just going to be two very scary mons because of Surge Surfer and Unburden. This thing has great coverage. It's a great Z move abuser. Super fast under electric terrain. So I fully expect it to do a ton of damage here. Yeah, double. Okay, going back to Ambipom, double hit to Connection Band. Yep, I got it now. That's kind of like Cincino as well. Gardevoir to the Gliscor, or not the Gliscor, is the Cloisters, gives them a Psychic and Fairy type. Very good Specs abuser. As well, base 125 special attack, 115 Spadef. Trace, so it can steal abilities, synchronize to pass statuses back. Be a trick user, trick abuser. Does have Healing Wish to heal things back up as well. Can run as a very good Specs abuser. Weak to steel types, but plenty of coverage there for that. Vileplume, another mon I don't know a lot about except that it's slow. Granted, it does have access to Chlorophyll for speed, Effect Spore to get a random status. Does have Strength Zap to really screw over your opponent's attack stat and drop it while healing. Shadow Ice Dancy was a very defensive wall for a very nightmarish team. Ambipom, I didn't know what it does. Comeback just pointed out what it does, so I know what that does. Vileplume has good stab in grass and poison, can put things to sleep with Sleep Powder, does have access to Moonblast, and is overall a very good offensive, defensive mon. That's what I'm trying to do, a very good defensive mon for this team. There is our Thundy T with Volt Absorb. This thing is every bit as good as standard, minus the fact that it doesn't have Prankster and is not as fast, but does put in a lot of work. Now we have an electric type protection for Volcanion outside of Zygarde and Empoleon. It's not so much that major. I'm just like, this is 3 hours strong now into this, and I am running behind. I need to go do some stuff. Like half an hour ago, I need to go leave and do stuff. So I'm kind of just speeding through this. I also haven't streamed in months, and so I'm not used to this grind of streaming for hours at a time. Like, I'm running down. Archeops Primarina's terrible ability and the fact that it loses its attack once it gets hit down pretty hard. Otherwise, decent mon, super high attack stat until that Defeatus kicks in. Very good Z abuser, can punch holes through teams pretty easily. Another defogger, take pressure off Gligar. All in all, decent mon. Riveri's Talonflame. Talonflame got nerfed with Gale Wings in Gen 7. Otherwise, Gale Wings for priority attack. It does priority flying type attack while it's still intact. Does not like Stealth Rocks. There's something else with Talonflame I can't remember off the bat. Talonflame, very good speed. Swords Dance setup. It has Recovery and Roost. Fly Z abuser. Fire type. Yada yada yada. Aromatisse, super slow. Good Trick Room setter. Good Cleric. Yeah, base 29 speed. Super slow. Trick Room, Nasty Plot, Setup Sweeper, kind of like Cofagrigus. Can just work that. Decent coverage, I believe. Yeah, heel bell there. Set up screens. Yeah, that's about it. Frost Lash, I have no idea what this thing does, except I know it's a suicide lead with spikes and Destiny Bond. Curse Body, 110 speed, so it's decently fast. Yeah, spikes, taunt, will-o-wisp, hex, Curse Body, bulky spike setter, suicide lead. Basically, like I said, suicide lead. Gyarados, Intimidate user, dies to electric type moves, but it is another above ground Mon. Moxie boost if it needs to, can set up and sweep through D-Dance. Base 125 attack is pretty good. Or not pretty good, it's very good. Fly Z abuser, taunt abuser, yeah, D-Dancer, setup sweeper, just not as good as standard Gyarados with Mold Breaker, or Mega Gyarados with Mold Breaker, and not being quad weak to electric type. Speaking of taking hits for electric types, Lantern, very good Mon. Spadef can be very offensive as well. Two great abilities in Volt Absorb and Water Absorb. You have to play the guessing game. Are we the Volt Absorb? Are we the Water Absorb set? Yeah. Very good as far as that goes. Good Assault Vest abuser. Masquerade, fast Intimidate user. Yeah, that's really about it. Good special attack. Sticky Web lead with Focus Sash. Can be a Clover Dance setup. Sweeper. But mainly get those Sticky Webs out. And just continue to hazard stack is basically how this team is looking like, is a hazard stack team. Lucario's PZ, not as good as P2. Does have the adaptability, the download as well. 135 special attack, so it hits like a truck, but outside of that, it has recovery. It does basically everything P2 does without the Eviolite. Registeel for myself. Now I've got a defensive wall here. Rocker. Really, that's about it. Since I lost out on Bronzong, I went with this thing. Primeape for the Charizards. No idea what Primeape does. It's one of my favorite Pokemon, and I don't know. Anger Point, Defiant, decent speed, decent attack, good choice Scarfer, good coverage. Basically, it's a choice Scarfer though at best. Does have choice band abilities, but choice Scarf is probably the best set for it. Go-Goat's Mega Pidgeot with the no guard. It hits its Hurricanes no matter what. Very, very high special attack. Yeah, Mega Pidgeot, no guard, 135 special attack, just hits like a truck. 121 speed, makes it super fast. Has good coverage in the fact that it gets Heat Wave and U-turn around. Roost recovery. Doesn't like electric types, but Donphan's there to deal with that. It's just going to be a major offensive pressure for this team, and fits really nicely with this team. Yeah. Getting off in the next round, Aggron, very bulky defensive Mon, very weak to Earthquake though. Rock setter, stupidly defensive. Not as stupidly defensive as Mega Aggron, but still stupidly defensive. It does have Rock Head, it does have Sturdy. Good attack stat. You can run a banded version if you want. Decent coverage. Otherwise, Mega Aggron's probably definitely better than standard Aggron. Azelf here. Here's your Suicide Lead. Stealth Rocker can also be a very potent offensive threat. Levitate ability, so again, another EQ. Resistance, although this team is not really lacking those. But yeah, good Suicide Lead at times as well. Claydol, I needed another rocker, needed a levitate abuser, needed a rapid spinner, just went with Claydol. It does get decent coverage, it's pretty defensive. It's on the slow side though, is the problem. A Selgor for the Lucarios. This thing is extremely fast. You put specs on it and it walls or breaks a lot of things. It's a very, very strong wall breaker. Has unburdened, so if it loses its item, it just runs shot. Base 145 speed already. It's faster than Zero Aura. But yeah, choice specs just runs shot. It does have access to spikes, so I can set up spikes. Just a very, very good, very offensive mod. Alakazam, also a very good fast special attacker. Synchronize, Magic Guard, abilities to bounce stuff back. 135 special attack, 120 speed, makes it very fast, very offensive. Very frail though, on the defensive side. Life Orb is a good one, Choice Specs is good, but again, very physically frail. Knockoff is going to feast on this thing. Haxorus, very nice setup sweeper, and dragon type mold breaker, so it can bust through those levitate users. A nerve to keep berries from going base. 97 speed, 147 attack is just massive. Hits like a truck, especially once it starts D-dancing up on you. Gabite, Eviolite version of Garchomp, basically. Not really sure why this was taken, but you know, we're at the end of the draft. Still no Mega taken for several of these teams, by the way. It's very interesting to see what's going to happen with those. Standard Lycanroc. So Standard Lycanroc's the first Lycanroc off the board. Tough Claws Lycanroc Day has not come off the board yet. Another good mon that can set up with a Focus Sash. Swords Dance and they really hit hard. Has priority in Excel Rock. Has Drill Run, has good coverage across the board. I've used this version of Lycanroc and enjoyed it. Should do some decent work. Good Stealth Rock setter. Pretty good Z abuser. Pharaoh Seed, basically the Eviolite Ferrothorn. Not much really to say there. Standard Rotom. Basically does the same things that the rest of them do, except it is faster and weaker. Like Defog Will-O-Wisp Hex Bolts, which is the recommended set for it. It could be a Scarfer. See you later, Acorn. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah. Gourgeist, this thing is a good mon. I've used it in Draft League. You have access to all 4 forms, so you can run super offensive, super defensive. All in all, very good mon. Can put in a lot of work. Seeds, great recovery, can be a super big a nuisance, and fits pretty nicely overall with this team. Mega Bayonet, no idea what you do. Prankster, another Prankster mon with huge physical attack at 165. Can Prankster Destiny Bond to basically suicide something. Shadow Claw, Gunk Shot, Taunt, Knock Off. Decent coverage. Can Prankster Cotton Guard to get its defense up 3 stages type of thing. Very interesting to see how that's going to play out with that mon. Magmortar. I don't know what Magmortar does. I know it has Flame Body. Vital Spirit. Huge special attack. Basically a wall breaker at this point. Golem. Standard Golem, not a Woolen. Golem. Yeah, standard Golem. Big attack, big defense. Weakness policy, Sturdy Golem basically sweeps a lot of things. That's about it. Big Dick B, Mega Beedrill. I really wanted this thing at one point and decided not to go with it. This thing just hits like a truck. Adaptability, X Scissors, adaptability to U-turns, adaptability to poison jabs. It just punches holes through things. absolutely destroys them. Very good. Very good offensive threat. Pairs nicely with Tapu Koko. Very, very fast. Does not like rocks, but there's plenty of things that can handle that. Finishing off this round, we have Embor, a nice offensive banded threat, scarf threat. Hits like a truck. Also can be very defensive. Head smashes everywhere. Yeah. And it's going to be that round. Going into the last round. Sorry, I'm sprinting to the end here because I'm way behind. Specs threat. That too. Deoxys D. And here's why I hate this team, because now it's beyond bulky. DOD. Bulky stall. That's this entire team. Moving along. This DOD really... it dies to a knockoff, or it's frail to a knockoff. But... this thing just, like, blows teams back with its defensive stally toxic bullshit. Incineroar, yes, comeback, that's allowed. Shadow wanted his DOD. Incineroar, good Assault Vest user, slow, AV threat on the Reshiram. Incineroar, very good Mon, Intimidate user as well. Cycle out, intimidates around, band threat. All in all, decent Mon. Cloisters, Specs Blacephalon, or Z-Crystal Blacephalon. That's really all there is to it. I never noticed, by the way, but these star patterns are its eyes. I did not put that together. Blacephalon, Mind Blow, really, really good special. Does not appreciate rocks, though. Swampert, not Mega, standard Swampert. Does everything that Mega does, but not as fast. Volbeat can set up and sweep with Tail Glow if it needs to. It also has Prankster, I believe. Can be a really big nuisance. Electros, Levitate user. No real weaknesses, because its only weakness being ground, and it can levitate above that. Great coverage, can use Super Fang. I've used this thing very well. I love it. It fits nicely with this team as a way to be super bulky with AV, as well as threatening. Like, it's easy to take down super big walls because it gets Super Fang. As long as you hit Super Fang, you can knock a wall in half. Virizion, another one of the Swords of Justices, dies to HP. Flying, but gives you some Grass Stab, gives you some setup ability with Calm Minding or Swords Dancing. But yeah, it does not appreciate flying type moves. Keldeo, here's the last of the Swords of Justice. Keldeo is a very good physical threat. Aqua Jet priority, Icy Wind for speed control. Can set up and all that. Good stuff. Fighting Stab. Standard Mawile. Don't really know what it does other than the fact that it has Hyper Cutter and something else. I can't remember what its other ability is. Intimidate. So it can be an Intimidate threat. Really slow though. Mega Idino, why? Just gonna say that. Why? That's all. Piloswine does everything Nameless Wine does, but with a Eviolite. Mega Ampharos, very good setup sweeper with special setup. Electric Dragon type, very fabulous hair. There is no point in talking about Mega Idino. It is the worst Mega ever. Why that thing got a Mega Evolution, I'll never know. When things like Flygon should get a Mega Evolution. Togetic, everything that Togekiss does, but with an Eviolite. Mega or standard Venusaur, I needed a grass and poison type. That was really the only reason I took this thing. It can be bulky beyond belief. Interesting to see what it does. Dusknoir, very, very offensive, very, very defensive, either way. And last pick was Dragonite. Salamence goes undrafted because Dragonite fits better for this team. Sorry about that, guys. Speeding at the end. I am way behind where I need to be. I need to leave now and go do some stuff. Thank you guys for tuning in. If you're on YouTube, thanks for watching. Check out the links down below, Twitch, Twitter, Discord if you want to join the Discord. If you're on YouTube, follow the link over to Twitch, drop a follow for me, get me to 50, so that way when I do come back streaming full time, I can get this up and running, and we can get to affiliate like that, because I can stream for 3 hours at a time once I get back in the swing of things. And I think I'm going to have enough viewers to get me above 3 viewers an hour average. So just let me get to that 50, so when I come back, we can charge right into the affiliate program and get some emotes, get some fun with that. If you want to know why I'm not streaming where I have been, because it's been months since I streamed, it's been about 3 months, go check out the recap video that I posted a while back. That'll explain where I'm going, what everything is going on. As always, thank you guys for tuning in, and I will catch you guys next time. See ya.